What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 4RG Chapter 91 The Duel Between Cadres. That's why I said before, your wish will not come true, John, 35. Air put the historical text back in a safe place and glanced at John lightly. Air, whoever sees it, is the historical text we both saw together, so Captain Rox's reward also has my share, 99 John said shamelessly. John is on my mind, the Rox reward has been a long time coming. I thought that I had got a little clue of the historical text, and it would not be long before I could find the historical text. And then, reap rich rewards, but I didn't expect that, the historical text, is now on Air's ship. You really like to joke around, John, Air sneered. What's the matter, if you see the historical text, you will split the Rox reward equally with you. 707. Air didn't know if John's brain had been fooled by Marine's main force a few months ago. Do you think that after I read the historical text, you can safely bring it back to the Rox group? John's face sank and he threatened. You can try. Air directly pulled out the Demon Slayer from his waist. Although there is no experience card on Air's body now. But, now his hard power is also true to John's. He even said that he didn't take John seriously at all. If John wanted to grab it, he wouldn't mind letting John's body sink in this sea. John looked directly into Air's eyes, and after a few seconds of silence, he spoke. Air, I know you like to collect devil fruit. I have 3 devil fruits in my hand now. What do you think about exchanging the historical text with you? If he could, John still wanted to fight a man like Air. After all, Air is the most talented cadre in the entire Rox group, no matter what. The current John is not fully sure that he can take down Air and get back the historical text. Do you think that I found the last piece of historical text of Uranus for Captain Rox and his reward? Will there be only 3 devil fruits? 5. Rox's biggest dream in life is to rule the world. Advertisement in Uranus is an important weapon that allows Rox to rule the world. And Air brought back the historical text that Rox was thinking about. Allow it to find Uranus's hideout. The rewards for Rox are more than 3 devil fruits? In addition to 1 billion Baileys, what do you think of Air? You must know that although Captain Rox said there is a major reward, none of us know exactly what kind of reward is there. And now, as long as you exchange it with me, I can give you 1 billion Baileys plus 3 devil fruits. John continued to increase the price. Hey, John, you really take me for a fool. You want to exchange historical texts with me for such a trivial thing? Hearing John's stupid words, Air couldn't help sneering. Rox really didn't say what the big rewards were. But, since John can take out 1 billion Bailey, he can exchange it with 3 devil fruits. Then John must also be very clear, the Rox reward must be above this. Air is naturally not stupid. Bringing back the historical text for Rox, such a penultimate contribution. How could it be as simple as 3 devil fruits with only 1 billion Baileys? John's face sank, killing intent flashed in his eyes, and said coldly, so, I took out these things, why don't you exchange them? 99. Don't say such stupid things, John. You and I both understand how important this piece of history is to Captain Rox. Then don't blame me for stealing the historical text from you. Seeing that the negotiation was hopeless, John pulled out the big sharp knife at his waist and entered a state of battle. Then you can try. Although Air is unclear, John's current strength is at that stage. But, John, Silver Axe, Ochaku, should be about the same level. Back then, Air could suppress Silver Axe with hard power. Today, the strength of everyone in the Rox group is improving at an extremely fast rate. But Air doesn't think that his current strength is weaker than that of John's class. Advertisement seeing that the two were about to fight, many of the pirates on John's ship spoke with some concern. Is this going to start? Captain John, can we defeat the monster Air? Although I believe in Captain John's strength, but, a while ago, Air killed an admiral on Beehive Island. Air's previous record has been deeply engraved in the minds of every pirate in the Rox group. After all, the ability to defeat 2 marine main forces, and kill 1 admiral, no one is not impressed by such terrifying combat power. Compared with the panic of some crew members, the other crew members were full of disdain. Don't overestimate Air. Don't forget what Captain Edward said before. His devil fruit ability can only be used once, which means that the current Air is completely impossible to release the combat power of the Hive Island period. Although his devil fruit is pervert, it has been used once, and it must not be used now, and don't forget where we are now, but the sea. As long as Captain John can take Air's ship to destroy, then we will win. As we all know, demon fruit power, the most feared thing is the sea. In their opinion, as long as Air's ship can be destroyed, then Air would have nowhere to go but fall into the sea. Once demon fruit power falls into the sea, then, you can declare defeat directly. Captain Rox has a rule that we won't let our cadres fight, I won't kill you today, but you have to be prepared to sink into the sea. A gleam of light flashed in John's eyes, and he clenched the big sharp knife in his hand, wrapped in a thick layer of 4.3 armament hockey. His aura quickly climbed to the top, and his whole body exuded a terrifying aura. Shoo! He slashed forward sharply, and the blade rubbed the space to make a crisp vibrato, as if the space was cut off by his knife. The sword chi was forced out from the blade in an instant, and a terrifying sword chi shot out. Extremely fast and carrying endless power, John, no matter what, he will become a famous pirate in the New World in the future. One-handed swordsmanship, superb. After staying in the Rox group for so long, John's strength has even reached the peak of his strength. Although his strength is not comparable to those of Whitebeard's group, but he has some strength. Chapter 92, the strongest monster of the Rox group. Although I'm greedy for your billions of Baileys and 3 devil fruits, I'm not going to kill you. If you take the initiative to pick things up, then these things of yours, it can be taken for granted. Seeing John's sword energy, Air had a smile on his face. Since John had proposed before, he would take 1 billion Baileys and 3 devil fruits to exchange the historical text with Air. Well, these things must be on John's ship now. Originally, Air had no reason to rob John, but now John took the initiative to attack. Doesn't he have a reason to be in the bag? Dragon bite? Air held the blade in one hand, put the back of the blade on the back, and then swung his arm forward sharply. The terrifying force was instantly transmitted from the arm to the blade. A ferocious black sword energy was forced out directly from the blade, carrying thousands of powers. The sword chi was vertical and horizontal, and in midair, it directly transformed into the phantom of the black dragon, opened its bloody mouth, and attacked John's sword chi. In this world O3, basically only have swordsmanship at the level of a swordsman. You can synthesize your own knowledge of swordsmanship, and then develop swordsmanship moves. It's different from a normal swing. Swordsmanship moves can better and more comprehensively exert the power of swordsmanship attainments. Of course, if the swordsmanship reaches a certain level, there is no need to rely on the release of any swordsmanship moves. Because of the simple swing of the sword, you can completely release all the profound meanings of swordsmanship that you have comprehended on the blade. Boom! 2 sword chi collided in the center of their ships. As if a giant bomb had been dropped on the sea, the waves suddenly surged and rolled. In the middle, 100-meter-high waves were stirred up, covering the sky and the sun. It took a few seconds for the sword energy to collide. But Air's power is obviously stronger than John's sword. After offsetting John's sword chi, the group of black dragons transformed from sword energy continued to roar towards John's ship. John jumped up vigorously and slashed again before dispelling Air's sword energy. His face changed slightly, his eyes fixed on Air. Advertisement, you guy, your swordsmanship skills are stronger than I thought. Although both of them are great swordsman-level swordsmen. But there are also strong and weak great swordsmen. John could clearly feel how terrifying the sword energy Air was playing. If you only have this level of strength, then your billion Bailey and 3 devil fruits will be in my pocket, John, Air said calmly. Arrogant. Today I want to see if I can snatch the historical text from you, or if you can take 1 billion Baileys and 3 devil fruits from my boat, John snorted coldly. Today, either Air beats John for 1 billion Baileys and 3 devil fruits. Either John beats Air and gets the history text. The battle between the two is for purpose. The loser will lose a lot. Shush. John's face sank, and he swung his sword again, attacking Air with his sword energy. Air jumped in the air, holding the demon slayer and directly splitting the sword energy. Then the footsteps took off and landed directly on John's deck. Air is here. 35, quick, back up quickly, or you will be killed. Seeing that Air came to the ship, the pirates stepped back one after another, not daring to get too close to Air. Seeing Air set foot on his own boat, John's face sank, holding a large sharp knife in both hands. Wrapped in a thick layer of armament hockey, he charged directly towards Air. Naturally, Air was not wrong, he also raised his knife and charged towards John. It wasn't his own ship anyway, so Air could use his power with confidence without worrying about damage to the ship. Dang dang. 99. Z's. Crackling. The moment the two fought, they did not retain their strength at all, and used all their strength to launch a swift and deadly attack on the other side. The momentum of the two has gradually climbed to the top, and their confrontation is full of murderous intentions everywhere. In a very short period of time, the blades of the two collided for dozens of rounds. Even without Kurama's power, Air is still superior to John in terms of hard power. But, however John said, he is also a main cadre of the Rox regiment. Advertisement possessing extremely old fighting experience, although the strength is inferior to Air, in the short confrontation, he did not fall into a big disadvantage. Between swords, lights, swords and shadows, the attacks of the two kept colliding. The airwaves that were set off made the pirates watching around them dare not approach. The figures of the two slammed backwards, and in an instant, they collided again. Boom! The incomparably terrifying power was revealed from the blades of the two of them. Kakaka. 39 The deck under the feet could not withstand the attack of the two, and there was a large tear. You are far less powerful than me, John. Shoo. Air dodged John's knife first with observation hockey. Then he waved the demon slayer in his hand and slashed towards John's chest. Oops. John's pupils contracted violently. He quickly covered his body with a thick layer of armament hockey to defend against Air's attack. Z. John's body was directly knocked back dozens of meters by Air's blade. Then it slammed heavily on the door of the cabin. The door couldn't bear such a force, and it ripped apart and collapsed in an instant. It can be seen that even though John wrapped armament hockey at the critical moment, there was still a conspicuous and hideous wound on his abdomen, which was dripping blood continuously. Captain John. Damn, isn't this guy unable to use Devil Fruit's power? How can he still be so powerful? Damn it, we only remember that he can't use that terrifying ability in the Battle of Hive Island, but we forget that this guy is the strongest genius monster of our Rox. 35. When you said that, I suddenly remembered that this guy's talent, but Captain Rox is highly valued. They thought that Air couldn't use Devil Fruit's power, and John had the power to fight. But forget, Air is the most talented and fastest growing monster in their Rox group. John stabilized his body, glanced at Air indifferently, and then said to the pirates beside him, "You guys, hurry up and collect all the things in the storage room." Yes, Captain John. Although he didn't know, John suddenly ordered them to collect the things in the storage room. But the few people didn't ask any more questions, but acted quickly and rushed into the storage room. Chapter 93 Air. I didn't expect it. I'm not afraid of seawater, please order. Are you planning to give me the things directly? Air asked, slightly puzzled. Stop joking, Air. The battle between us has only just begun. John bared his teeth and grinned grimly. Forget it, John. I advise you not to waste your efforts. You should be very clear that you are not my opponent. Air neither uses the power of Conqueror's Coil now. Kurama's power is also not used, but his strength is still above John. To be honest, he didn't know what John was going to beat him with. That's not necessarily. John grinned suddenly. The next second, he clenched the big sharp knife in both hands and slashed sharply, but the target of his attack was not Air, but the ship under his feet. 99 A terrifying white light flashed, and the sword sheath flew, tearing the deck underfoot completely. Kakaka. The whole ship was torn from the center, broken, and was falling towards the sea. You are? Seeing the confusing operation of John suddenly cutting his boat in half, even Air was taken aback. It's a good fight. Why do you want to attack your own ship? Air, you don't have the slightest chance of winning this battle, because I'm not a capable person, and you. As long as you are repelled to the sea by me, you will be defeated. John knew very well that he would definitely not be Air's opponent in terms of hard work. If so, then he needs to think of other ways, and now, he has thought of a good way, that is to completely destroy the ship under his feet. Let Air have nowhere to stay, and he just needs to press and attack Air continuously. As long as Air's body falls into the sea, he can declare victory in this battle. That's why, he just asked his men to collect all the treasures in the storage room. The reason is that after the ship is destroyed, the treasures in his storage room cannot be dropped into the sea. It seems that Captain John has won this battle. Yeah, no matter how strong Air is, but, as long as he is repelled to the sea by Captain John, then he will definitely lose. Demon fruit power, although it will have great strength, but its weakness is also obvious. It seems that Captain John's choice not to eat devil fruit is the right choice, because today this will be the key to his victory. I am now looking forward to what kind of reward Captain Rox will give us when he brings back the historical text. Advertisement, ha ha ha. I believe it must be an unusual reward. 35. Those have fallen into the sea. But the crew members carrying treasures heard John's remarks and immediately understood John's intentions. So now, they have renewed hope for John. In their opinion, in this battle, John, who did not eat devil fruit, would definitely be able to defeat Air. You guy, you're quite smart. Air spread his hands and smiled. If Air really ate devil fruit, he would really have a headache when he was in the sea but had nowhere to go. But, the problem is, Air didn't eat devil fruit at all. All his abilities come from the system. Therefore, this wave of operations by John seems to him to be a bit of two arms. Ha ha ha. It seems that you also know that you don't have much chance of winning. Air, do you have to hand over the historical text obediently? That way you won't lose to me. 39. John had a strong smile on his face, thinking he was winning. Tisk. You be asterisk 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 D. To be polite to you, do you really take yourself seriously? It seems that you don't choose to admit defeat, so let me see how long the most talented monster of the Rox group can last in my hands. John didn't continue to talk nonsense with Air, and continued to slash the boat under his feet in half. Now he and Air are standing on a thin deck, tread. John stomped on the deck under his feet with force, and then slammed towards Air. Shish. John jumped to his feet, veins appearing in his arms. Slashing at Air with all his strength, this sword contains all the swordsmanship of John the Great Swordsman. A terrifying force quickly attacked Air, when Air swung the slayer and collided with John's blade. Accompanied by the sound of metal clashing, the deck under Air's feet was torn apart instantly, completely unable to withstand the pressure brought by the two's offensive. Seeing this scene, John grinned, and then launched a more swift attack on Air. Clang clang. Advertisement between swords, lights, swords and shadows, the two suddenly slashed dozens of knives. The deck beneath Air's feet, though torn apart, but Air can always let his legs and feet step on the wooden boards that are broken into small pieces. No matter how fast Air and John's offensive was, the planks under Air's feet were not broken into powder and completely sank. Chua. Air slashed John in the stomach again. You lost, Air. In the face of this attack, John did not choose to defend, and even had a hideous smile on his face. Taking advantage of the gap between Air's attack on him, he slashed towards the plank standing under Air's feet. Shoo! The two fired at almost the same time, and Air's knife slashed into John's abdomen. John, on the other hand, slashed at the plank with a knife. Boom! Hit by Air's blade, John's body flew backwards and hit the sea. Waves tens of meters high rose from the scene, and Air also fell into the sea due to the torn wooden board under his feet. John surfaced, stroking the bleeding wound and saying, "Ha ha ha. Air, Zhao, I said, you have no chance of winning this battle." Although Air was seriously injured, he saw Air fall into the sea. He knew that the winner of this battle was him. Sentence 1. Captain John wins. Even if Air's strength is strong, as long as he comes into contact with seawater, he will directly lose most of his strength. The final winner of this battle is Captain John. As expected of Captain John, we followed. Even in the face of such a powerful monster as Air, he can still find a way to win. Yeah, Captain John, it's the man we follow after all. Seeing Air fall into the sea, the group of pirates on the sea suddenly burst into laughter. Although John was wounded by Air's blade, he was not defeated. And Air, after coming into contact with seawater, will directly lose all combat power. Whoever comes here thinks that John has won. Chapter 94 Air. I'm a good person. After John was excited, he instructed his subordinates behind him, go and salvage Air and put them on chains. John just wanted the historical text that Air found. There is no intention to kill Air, or, he didn't dare to kill Air. Because if killed, he will be severely punished by Rox. Yes. Those pirates were planning to swim in the direction of Air and salvage it. But saw Air surface and swim towards a nearby deck. Those pirates who wanted to salvage Air froze in place. How? How is it possible? How is this possible? Demon fruit power will directly lose almost all of its strength when it touches the sea. Why is this guy unaffected? What a joke. What's going on with this guy's physique? He's not afraid of sea water. Looking at the scene in front of them, many pirates can be said to be directly stupid. Those who are capable are afraid of seawater. This is the most common knowledge in this world. Anyone who is a pirate basically knows this information. But today they saw with their own eyes that Air fell into the sea, but it was not affected in the slightest. He doesn't seem to be afraid of the sea at all. What the hell is going on in this 720 group? One pirate couldn't help but complain. Since Air joined the Rox group, he has been enjoying continuous success. Boarding the ship as the official crew member, then in a very short time, he became the cadre of the Rox regiment. He also rose rapidly with a strong talent, and he was the first to become the main cadre than John, Silver Axe, Ochaku and others. Later, on the Hive Island, they played a pair of two Marines' top fighting strength, which was not weak. And beheaded an admiral, such an amazing record. Now, they have seen with their own eyes that they are not afraid of seawater after eating devil fruits. Air. As members of the Rox group, they have seen countless strong winds and waves, as well as the world's strongest. But monsters like Air, out of the ordinary, they are really seeing each other for the first time. How can that be? Advertisement. John's pupils contracted violently and looked at Air in disbelief. His only chance of winning is to let Air fall into the sea and lose his combat power. Now, Air is not afraid of the sea, which puts John in a desperate situation. Keep fighting, he's clearly no match for Air. But if he admits defeat, wouldn't he hand over 1 billion Baileys and 3 devil fruits? Air stood on the deck, took off his shirt, and questioned while condensing. Go on, John. What odds do you think you have now? Now, he can't kill John yet. After all, the Rox regiment has rules. Cadres cannot fight at will, especially the main cadres. Because Rox is relying on the main cadres to conquer the world for him. If Air killed John, the news would surely reach Rox. Because this kind of thing. Just need to investigate a little to know that he did it, so it must be impossible to hide. And once the news is heard by the Rox, even if he values Air again, he will be punished or something. For example, he brought back the historical text, but he won't get a little reward or something. So, out of consideration, Air can't kill John just yet. You be asterisk 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 D, John said grimly. Although he still wants to continue, but he also knows. Between him and Air, there is a big gap in strength. In addition, he was badly injured in order to split the plank under Air's feet just now. Right now, he has almost no chance of winning. If you continue, I can only guarantee that you will not die here, but I can't guarantee how serious your injuries will be. 35. Captain Rox, just said, does not allow the main cadres to fight and cause casualties. But as long as he doesn't kill John, and cuts off his hamstrings and hand tendons, added, it should be fine. John stared at Air for a few seconds with savage eyes, and then ordered his subordinates behind him. Give him everything on the ship. Although John was very unwilling, there was nothing he could do. Advertisement, Captain John, this is something we got after collecting a lot of time. Are we going to give it to him? Yes, Captain John, it took us a lot of time to collect these things. Wouldn't it be a pity to give it to him like that? Hearing John's words, the crew members said hesitantly. 1 billion Baileys, plus 3 devil fruits, the value of these things is enough to allow them to enjoy a long time of prosperity. So if it was handed over to Air so easily, they were still a little unhappy in their hearts. Shoo! The moment when the words of the two pirates fell. John waved the blade without hesitation, accompanied by a ferocious sword sheath flashing, and the two pirates died in different places in an instant. Why, you still dare to disobey my orders, John said coldly, looking at a few people. When the group of pirates saw the death of their two companions, they immediately broke out in a cold sweat and stood upside down, daring not to say anything more. Obediently handed everything to Air. Thank you so much, John. With 1 billion Baileys and 3 devil fruits in his pocket, Air couldn't help but smacking his tongue and thanking him. I have to say, John is really a rich boy. With these 3 devil fruits, plus 2 devil fruits in Kurama's spiritual space. Now he has 5 devil fruits in his hand. I believe, the chakra power of 3 tails can already be unlocked. Hearing Air's words of thanks, John was furious, although he was very angry, he couldn't let it out. After Air put these things away, he returned to his ship. John's boat was destroyed by himself. But Air's boat was still able to drive, after all, it was only a corner of the cabin that was smashed by the Sea Kings. Just as Air was about to drive the boat away, John suddenly shouted, Hey, Air, are you going to leave us alone? You know, the area they're currently in is the lair of the Sea Kings. Such places, as long as normal pirates, would not dare to approach them. Therefore, in this sea area, if there is no accident, there will be no ships in this sea for half a year or 5 years. And John's ship, which happened to be destroyed by himself, was unable to sail. If Air left just like that, to be honest, John would most likely be left with death. Air grinned and said, Want to get on board, John? 500 million Baileys for you to carry. Chapter 95. John's misery hearing Air sitting on the ground and raising the price, John wrinkled and said coldly, All the things on the ship have been given to you. A person like you who has been with the Rox for so long, how could there be only this? Air smiled slightly. John joined the Rox much longer in the morning than Air. Air couldn't believe that there were only so many treasures in John's store. You guy, don't go too far, John roared in anger from his heart. He's a hell of a lot to meet Air today. If he was given another chance, he would not have the idea of wanting to snatch the historical text of Air even if he was killed. After all, in the end, not only did not get the historical text. On the contrary, the treasure worth 1 billion Baileys on the ship, as well as the 3 devil fruits, were all pocketed by Air. Now, Air is sitting on the ground again and wants to charge him 500 million Baileys on board. I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. If you don't answer, I'll treat you as refusing to get on the boat and want to stay in this place and kill yourself. 10. I'm leaving. After Air lost 10, he drove the boat and prepared to leave. B asterisk 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 D. John yelled angrily. In the face of John's scolding, Air ignored it and drove the boat forward. As Air's ship continued to advance, it was getting farther and farther away from him. At this time, John was also a little panicked, and shouted quickly. Come back Air and I'll pay 500 million Baileys. Despite his unusual anger, John had nothing to do. Because he knew, if Air really just left, there's a good chance he'll starve to death in this Sea King's lair. And, if he starved to death, the Rox couldn't hold Air accountable either. Therefore, in order to survive, he could only pay Air another 500 million Baileys to board the ship. Billion Baileys. Air stopped the boat, turned and shouted at John. What B*************** D are you talking about? I didn't pay back 500 million Bailey just now. Why is the price increased now? Advertisement. What's so special? It was only 500 million Bailey just now. How long has passed, and the price has been doubled directly. He had seen black, never seen air as black. I gave you a chance to get on the boat just now, but you didn't grasp it. The price of getting on the boat is 1 billion. If you refuse again, the next time you get on the boat, it will be 2 billion Baileys. 35. Damn. Would you like to get on board? Air asked with a harmonious smile on his face. Superior. John gritted his teeth and forced the word out of his mouth with a grim expression. Hearing John's answer, Air also drove the ship back and took John and his crew on board. You guy, I will never let you go, John said harshly when he got on the boat. Not only did I get nothing today, but I got 2 billion Baileys and 3 devil fruits. This makes him full of resentment towards Air. If you say one more word, I'll throw you off the boat, John. Air glanced at John and said indifferently. Hearing Air's words, John snorted and said nothing more. Ding, congratulations to host for getting 70 points of Sage Body Progress. What followed was the voice of the system, and this time, he had gained 70 progress points in the confrontation with John. Now Air's Sage Body Progress has reached 3,820. The progress from 4,000 is only 180. I believe that it will not be long before his Sage Body can reach the later stage and win a lottery. And unlock the power of fairy eyes. 2 days later. Air drives the boat and finds the Rox Pirate in the New World. Saw Air's ship returning. Rox, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido, and Ohara scholars, among others. They were all standing at the bow of the boat. Rox asked, how about Air, is there anything to gain? Gia ha ha ha, Air, I believe you have come back without success this time. Golden Lion folded his arms in front of his chest and laughed. The historical text of Uranus is extremely difficult to find. Advertisement. During this period of time, Golden Lion didn't even find the historical text, not even the slightest clue. Mama, after such a long time, our whole ship has not inquired a little clue about the historical text. It seems that it is difficult to find Uranus. Although it is said that the old man from Ohara has found 3 historical texts. 0. Katakana middle dot for flowers katakana middle dot. But the last piece of historical text, after all, doesn't even have the slightest clue. To find the last piece of historical text in this vast world is undoubtedly a needle in a haystack. Air, we haven't seen each other for a while, let's have a good drink this time. Whitebeard said with a smile on his face. Because of the cadres of the Rox regiment, they all acted separately. No one knows when and who will return to the Rox regiment to replenish cargo or something. This time, Whitebeard also returned 2 days ago, ready to rest for a while before heading out to sea. Now, when Air returns, he naturally intends to have 2 drinks with him. Likewise, he didn't think Air would inquire about the historical text. After all, this thing is really too hard to find clues. Point 0. Let's put the drinking aside for a while, Edward, I have something important to report to Captain Rox. Air shook his head slightly. When Rox heard this, he grinned and asked, oh, could it be that, have you inquired about the historical text of Uranus? I didn't find out about the historical text. Air shook his head slightly. Air really did not inquire about the news of the historical text. Because he was going to the designated island with the treasure map. It was never imagined that there would be a historical text in that place. Air, now only the news of the historical text can interest Captain Rox. I'm afraid Captain Rox doesn't bother to listen to other things. Golden Lion said lightly while sitting on the rail with his arms folded over his chest. Really? What if I said I found the historical text? When the words fell, everyone in the Rox regiment was shocked. Golden Lion's face changed greatly, his pupils shrank and he quickly asked, what? Have you found the historical text? How is it possible? So far, we haven't even found out a little bit of information. How could you directly find the historical text? Charlotte Linlin was stunned for a moment, and then said with a look of disbelief. Air did not respond to the words of the two, but put his eyes on the crew of John behind him, waved his hand, and motioned for several people to carry out the historical text. Several pirates also immediately understood Air's consciousness and quickly rushed into the cabin. The historical noon was carried to the center of the deck for begging. Chapter 96 Air vs. Rox. After seeing the historical text on the deck, the scholar of Ohara thought for a few seconds and nodded affirmatively. Yes, this is the historical text. He had previously found 3 historical texts about Uranus. Therefore, now he is very certain that what is placed in the middle of the deck is the real historical text. Even if it has been answered affirmatively by Ohara scholars. But the golden lion still looked at Air in disbelief. How is that possible? This thing was really found by you guy. 35. Golden lion, but after searching hard for a long time, I haven't found even the slightest clue. Unexpectedly, Air brought back the historical text directly. How did you find the historical text? Charlotte Linlin asked with a strange look in her July 20th eyes. It's beyond reproach, Air said lightly. Gu la la la. It seems that Captain Rox' reward will be received by Air. Whitebeard laughed. Sure enough, in the whole boat, you are the only one who has never let me down, Air. Rox laughed. Air has never let the Rox down since Air joined the ship. Instead, it brought him countless surprises. There's no need for polite words, Captain Rox. I'll bring back the text of the history, so what's the reward? Air raised his head slightly, looked directly at Rox and asked. 3 billion Baileys, 8 ordinary devil fruits, and 1 Eudemon's devil fruit, which Air do you want? Rox asked with a grin. Rox, as the captain of the Rox group, naturally has countless treasures stored. Whether it's Bailey or devil fruit, he has everything. I said, Captain Rox, I brought back such an important historical text, the final reward. Is it just one of 3 choices? Air said with a shrug. If Air had to choose, he would choose 8 devil fruit. After all, the Eudemon's type devil fruit, although very powerful. But Air has no idea of eating devil fruit yet. So in his eyes, the Eudemon's devil fruit is just an ordinary devil fruit. Advertisement. And 8 devil fruit, plus 5 in his kurama spiritual space. Add up to a total of 13, which allows him to directly unlock the 3 tails, and the chakra of the 4 tails. But Air doesn't think so. He brought back an important historical text that would allow Rox to dominate the world, and Rox just let him choose one of 3. So choose 2 out of 3. Rox asked in a different tone. I want to choose 3 out of 3. Ha ha ha. Of course there is no problem. Rox said exceptionally generously. Golden Lion heard the words, his eyes showed an unconcealed greed and said, damn, did this guy Air directly win 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and an Eudemon's devil fruit? 5. If these 3 things were given to Golden Lion at random, he would be extremely satisfied. 1. Today, Air was able to win these 3 things at the same time, which made Golden Lion greedy for ultimate. I even had the idea of killing people and stealing goods in my heart. However, the thought only stayed for a second before he dismissed it. What a pity, I didn't expect the historical text to be given to Air in the end. Charlotte Linlin couldn't help sighing. These 3 things, Charlotte Linlin is also unusually greedy. But these things are about to be pocketed by Air, no matter how greedy she is, she won't get it. John, who was standing on the Air boat, couldn't help clenching his fists and said angrily, damn it, if I were stronger back then, these things would be mine. If at that time, when he met Air in the lair of the Sea Kings, he would have been stronger and defeated Air. He wouldn't have lost a full 2 billion Baileys, and 3 devil fruits. And, you will also get 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and an Eudemon's devil fruit. The current John is very unwilling. Oh, hearing Rox's response, Air gave him a surprised look. In fact, if you can choose 2 out of 3, Air is already satisfied. However, in order to try it out, he said 3 choices. But unexpectedly, Rox agreed so easily. Advertisement. Air suddenly realized something, shrugged his shoulders and smiled. Captain Rox agreed so readily, there must be some conditions. Of course. Rox didn't bluntly say. Then what are the conditions? If your strength can be recognized by me, I will let you choose 3 out of 3, but if your strength is not recognized by me, then, you will not get anything. 99. Now, all the pirates in the entire Rox group have grown up. But, Rox still thinks that he has absolute strength, above all pirates. But in the whole boat, the only thing he couldn't see through was Air. Or rather, he recalled what Whitebeard had said back then. Air fought against 2 Marines and killed an admiral at the Battle of Hive Island. He is now not sure whether Air can use the power of the Hive Island now. If you can, then he must use the reward as an excuse now. Just use that ability of Air. After all, it won't be long before the Rox embark on a plan to rule the world. During this process, if Air has the heart of betrayal, and you can already release the ability used in the Battle of the Hive Island, if you backstab him, then you will be in trouble. Captain Rox, this is too hard for me. 35. How could that be? You are the one with the fastest improvement in strength on our ship. I believe your strength will be recognized by me. Rox, eyes flashed, and the corner of his mouth rose slightly. Since Captain Rox believes so much that I can get your approval, then I have no reason to refuse, but, not today, I need to rest and fight again tomorrow. Air responded after a moment of silence rode. Of course, no problem. Rox nodded. Rox was nowhere near this time either. Because in his opinion, whenever he fights air, it's the same to test his cards. When the words fell, Rox ordered someone to take the historical text on the air ship. It was then handed over to the scholar of Ohara, who began to study the text above. Find the ultimate indicator of Uranus. Chapter 97 Surprise, Get Devil Fruit. The fight between Air and the Rox is scheduled for the second day. After Rox instructed Ohara scholars to study the historical text, he turned and left. And Air and John both came to the Rox ship. As soon as Air got on the boat, the golden lion next to him gloated and said, "Gia ha ha ha. Air, it seems that you can't get these three things so easily." I originally heard Rox response, saying that Air can directly get these three things. The golden lion is extremely jealous. But as the Rox brought up the engagement, the phrase was recognized. Golden Lion smiled. He guessed that the Rox would definitely not recognize Air's strength so easily. In other words, although Air brought back the historical text, it is very likely that he will not get anything. Air, maybe you go to Captain Rox now, and suggest that there may be a chance to choose one of the three. If there is a fight tomorrow, you're afraid you won't get anything. John also showed a schadenfreude smile on the side. Air cast a light glance at John, and said coldly, "Don't forget, John's boarding fee of 1,003%. Because of what was on John's ship at the time, it was all taken by Air. After that, Air made another billion Bailey on board. At that time, John had no money on him. So promised to Air after returning to the Rox group, to offer a billion Bailey. D. John's face turned gloomy when he heard Air mention a billion Baileys. When Charlotte Linlin heard this, she glanced at the two of them with some doubts and asked, "Billion Bailey? What are you two doing?" "It's nothing. Just in the area of the Sea King's lair, I met John. His ship was destroyed, so I offered to let him on board and only charge him a ticket of 1 billion Baileys." Air said slowly. Get on the boat. John needs to pay a billion Bailey." Kaido looked at the two of them in disbelief. Even for their group of pirates, 1 billion Bailey is not a small amount. After all, the time period they are currently in is in the old days. Billion Bailey's purchasing power is very strong. No one could have imagined that John would have to pay a billion Baileys just to get on Air's boat. Advertisement. I have to say, Air is black enough. John, remember to find me next time your ship is destroyed. I only charge you 100 million Baileys. Golden Lion said solemnly, standing in front of John. In order to recruit troops secretly, Golden Lion needs a lot of money. But he's been working so hard in the Rox for so long, and he's still very short of money. But Air just got John on the second boat and charged a billion Baileys. This makes Golden Lion jealous again. 100 million Bailey. You are too greedy. I only charge you 50 million Bailey, John. Charlotte Linlin also echoed. Go away, Shaki, Linlin. John said coldly. If he could leave the Sea King's lair, he would definitely not be willing to pay Air a billion Baileys. But he can't do it. What's more, in order to survive, he could only obediently agree to Air's request. D. Air's billion Baileys are cheap, and I'm 100 million Baileys cheaper. Golden Lion asked. John looked at the few people in front of him with an unusual headache, did not want to stay in this place any longer, and left quickly. At this time, Whitebeard came to Air's side and asked with a serious expression. Air, are you sure you will be approved by Captain Rox? Who knows? Air spread his hands. He didn't know what he needed to do to get Rox approval. But he had to try it. Although I don't want to admit it, I think what John said just now is right. If you go to Captain Rox now, you should still have a chance to choose one of 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and a Eudemon's devil fruit. If there is a fight tomorrow, you may get nothing. Whitebeard patted Air on the shoulder and said solemnly. I am a greedy man, Edward. If I can get 3, but only choose one in the end, I will regret it to death. Air smiled slightly. The importance of 10 devil fruits to Air is self-evident. 3 billion Baileys, this is not a small amount, he can buy some devil fruit in the future. As for the Eudemon's devil fruit, although Air has no plans to eat it, he has no plans to sacrifice it to Kurama. But he still wants it. After all, such a precious devil fruit. Advertisement. If it is used for exchange in the future, I am afraid that it will be able to exchange for a lot of ordinary devil fruit. Therefore, for Rox, 3 rewards, his choice is naturally all of them. When Whitebeard heard the words, he no longer said any words of advice, but asked. Tomorrow is your time to fight Captain Rox. Is there anything I can do for you until then, Air? Of course. Air nodded. What is it? How much devil fruit do you have in stock, Edward? Air currently has 5 devil fruits in his hand, and these 5 devil fruits will allow Air to unlock the chakra of 3 tails. However, Air is not satisfied with just unlocking the chakra power of 3 tails. It would be better if more chakra powers of tailed beasts could be unlocked before tomorrow's battle 720. Whitebeard doesn't ask what Air needs the devil fruit to do, but instead responds. I have 3 in my hand now. Although Whitebeard has eaten devil fruit. But after all, after staying in the Rox group for so long, naturally, they have received countless points. Among them, there are 3 devil fruits, which he has stored to this day. I'll exchange it with you for 1,000,000,000 Baileys, Edward. Air said. Gu la la la. I've just met Air when we talk about money. These 3 devil fruits are of no use to me. Since you want them, I'll give them to you. Whitebeard laughed after hearing this. Road. Really? Then I'll be polite, thank you Edward. I have to say, Whitebeard is a very nice, affectionate man. Although Air and Whitebeard are not clearly friends. It's a drinking relationship. Today, Whitebeard is so generous, and Air has a lot of goodwill towards him. Just treat me to a drink another day. Whitebeard patted him on the shoulder and laughed. Okay. Air nodded. Just buy Whitebeard a drink and get 3 devil fruits. Of course, Air would not refuse such a deal. Chapter 98 Unlocking a brand new power, seeking full order. Air, tomorrow is your time to fight with Captain Rox. What are you doing collecting devil fruit? Golden Lion asked Air with some doubts. Collecting devil fruit seems to have nothing to do with tomorrow's battle. That's nothing to comment on, Air said, spreading his hands. You guy, you have a lot of secrets buried in your body. Charlotte Linlin's eyes twinkled, and there was a smile on the corner of her mouth. Even though they have been with Air for a long time, they still don't know what Air's devil fruit is. Air can be said to be the most hidden person in the entire Rox group. Golden Lion looked directly at Air's pupils and was silent for a few seconds, then said, I have 4 devil fruits in my hand, and I will sell you 1.5 billion Baileys, how about Air? Although the Golden Lion is unclear, what exactly is Air doing to collect devil fruit? But seeing that Air is going to spend 1 billion Baileys to buy 3 of Whitebeard's devil fruits. He also wants to raise the price and sell it for 1.5 billion with 4 devil fruits. After all, the market value of a devil fruit is 100 million Baileys. Even if someone drives up the market price, it can only sell 200 million Baileys at most. In other words, the 4 devil fruits in his hand can only sell 800 million Baileys at most. Now, selling it to Air at a price of 1.5 billion Bailey, he is not at a loss at all. Golden Lion is now extremely short of money, after all, he has been secretly recruiting troops. 1.5 billion Baileys. You're too dark, Shaki, at most 1.2 billion Baileys. Although Air has a lot of money now, he doesn't want to be tricked by the Golden Lion. It is acceptable for him to spend 1.2 billion Bailey to buy 4 devil fruits. After all, devil fruit has been invaluable since ancient times. If devil fruit had always had a market, Air would have spent all his money on devil fruit. Golden Lion was silent for a few seconds and grinned. Quote exclamation mark. For a force like the Golden Lion, which is developing in secret. The value of 1.2 billion Baileys is more important than 4 devil fruits. Seeing that Air's bid was not low, Charlotte Linlin was also a little moved. Mama. I have 6 devil fruits in my hand, do you want to buy it Air? 35. Charlotte Linlin's future purpose is to create nations. So, she collected all the devil fruits she got from the Rox group. Now, she has 6 devil fruits in her hands. Advertisement. However, compared to 6 devil fruits, she needs a lot of money now. After all, if there is not enough money for her to use it to build a supplementary warship of the nations. Even holding devil fruit in hand is useless. 6 devil fruits. You have a lot of collections. Golden Lion glanced at Charlotte Linlin in surprise. He joined the Rox group, and over the years, he has only collected 4 devil fruits. And Charlotte Linlin actually collected 6. It's none of your business, Shaki. Charlotte Linlin glanced at Golden Lion lightly. Gia ha. Linlin, it seems that you also carried Captain Rox on your back and did a lot of small tricks. 35 Golden Lion laughed when he heard this. Charlotte Linlin, since she will sell 6 devil fruits. Then it also shows that she is also short of money and needs to develop her own power. You're not afraid of being overheard by Captain Rox when you say such misleading things on board, Shaki. 35. When Golden Lion heard the words, he just smiled lightly and didn't say much. Because he knew very well that Rox had long known about his small movements. However, Rox didn't care. 6. What price did you come up with? Air asked. 2 billion Baileys, Charlotte Linlin bids. At most 1.8 billion Baileys. Air only plans to spend 300 million Baileys to buy a devil fruit. If there are 6, at most, it is 1.8 billion Baileys. Deal. Charlotte Linlin nodded without haggling. Air went back to his room. Then in the Kurama space, 3 billion Baileys were taken out. Traded devil fruit with Golden Lion, and Charlotte Linlin. Plus 3 devil fruits from Whitebeard. As well as the 5 devil fruits in Kurama's spiritual space, Air now has a total of 18 devil fruits. After the exchange was completed, and after a few words with Whitebeard and others, Air went to John to ask for a billion Baileys. After getting the 1 billion Baileys given by John, Air went to the ship to make deals with other cadres, and wanted to buy some more devil fruit. However, devil fruit is one of the great secrets of this sea. Advertisement. Except for the Golden Lion group, the other cadres did not have devil fruit. Helpless, Air returned to his room again. Afterwards, all 18 devil fruits were taken out. Ding, it is detected that there is devil fruit in host's hand. Do you want to use it to unlock 3 tails? Sure. Ding, congratulations host, consume 5 devil fruits to unlock the power of 3 tails chakra. 35. 6 Ding, congratulations host, consume 6 devil fruits to unlock the power of 4 tails chakra. Ding, congratulations host, consume 7 devil fruits to unlock the power of 5 tails chakra. The voice of the system passed through Air's mind. Sure enough, Air expected. Every time you want to unlock the chakra power of a tailed beast, you need to consume 1 more devil fruit. At present, Air has unlocked the power of 5 tails chakra and consumed 7 devil fruits. If it goes further, it may be 8, 9, 10. It will take a while to unlock the power of 10 tails chakra. Air couldn't help smacking his tongue when he heard the sound of the system. Although, only 6 tails, 7 tails, 8 tails have not been unlocked yet. But, to unlock the 3 tails, at least 27 devil fruits need to be consumed. A special energy poured into Air's body and merged with the kurama of his spiritual world. Today's kurama has obtained the power of chakra, jiaos, of 1 tail, 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, and 5 tails. Its overall strength has improved a lot. Now when Air unleashes Kurama's power, he can also exert more power than ever. In a flash, the next day came. That's the day Air played against the Rox. On this day, the outgoing cadres Silver Axe and Akoku also returned to the Rox group. Because the historical text has been found, they naturally don't have to stay outside to find it. And the day of the decisive battle. In order not to cause damage to the ship, Rox ordered the ship to be driven to an isolated island in the New World. The two also came to an open place, ready to fight. All the members of the ship came to the island, ready to witness this battle of the century. Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, John, Silver Axe, Akoku, Kaido and many other cadres will naturally not miss this good show and watch the judgment nearby. Chapter 99 Air vs Rox. Boom boom. The weather at high altitude changed drastically, and the originally clear sky suddenly appeared dense dark clouds, blocking most of the sun's rays. The whole isolated island looks like a piece of darkness. In an open space in the middle of the isolated island, Air and Rox looked at each other. Rox put his hands on his back and said slowly, "Are you ready, Air? I won't be merciful." Rox actually didn't care about 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and an Eudemon's devil fruit. He originally planned to reward these 3 things directly when a cadre could retrieve the historical text. But after learning that it was Air who brought back the historical text, he changed his mind. Because he has been planning to test Air's current strength, but he has never had a chance. This time, in his view, it was an opportunity, so he used the number of rewards as an excuse. Play a duel with Air and force out all his cards. Certainly. Air nodded. Be aware that Air's Conqueror's Haki, after so much training, has all reached the 3rd stage. Moreover, he has already mastered Kurama mode. Yesterday again, the chakra powers of 3 tails, 4 tails, and 5 tails were unlocked. This small enhancement, Air uses the power of Kurama mode. Today, even in the face of Lock 720s, Air thinks he has the power to fight. Choke. Hearing this, Rox directly pulled out the supreme sword at his waist, and the momentum on his body gradually rose. The terrifying sense of oppression, centered on him, quickly spread to the surroundings. Gia ha ha ha, it's been a long time since I saw the strength of Captain Rox. Seeing that the battle was about to start, Golden Lion folded his arms in front of his chest and laughed. In fact, the current strength of Rox is unknown to the entire Rox group. Since the Battle of the Hive, Marine has seldom acted against the Rox. It was aimed at those cadres who set sail to find the historical text. So, they also didn't see Rox fighting people for a while. Advertisement. Naturally, it is not clear what his strength is. Air, this guy is really brave, dare to challenge Captain Rox. 33 Akoku said with a look of disdain. When he returned to the Rox group today, he had heard the news that the two were going to fight. However, Akoku was not bullish on Air. With the approval of Captain Rox, you can take 3 rewards, not added. I don't think he can get it today. Silver Axe also echoed. What a pitiful fellow. He brought back the text of history, but in the end he ended up to a point where he couldn't get any reward. John also sneered. You three, you don't seem to be optimistic about air. Charlotte Linlin said with a smile on the corner of her mouth as she glanced at the three of them. What, Linlin, is it possible that you are optimistic about air and can get Captain Rox approval? Silver Axe raised his brows slightly and asked back. Certainly. Gu la. Although Captain Rox is really strong, don't forget that today's battle is not a winner. As long as you get Rox approval, air can still do this kind of thing. Yes. Whitebeard followed suit. Don't be kidding, how could he be recognized by Captain Rox based on his strength? John retorted. So do you want to bet once, John, 300 million Bailey? Golden Lion also joined in the fun. Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, all three of them have experienced the Battle of the Hive Island. I saw with my own eyes how powerful air is. Therefore, they still have an inexplicable confidence in air. Just bet, John said unwillingly. In that case, let me join in, and I will bet 300 million Bailey. 35 Whitebeard said with a smile on his face. Mama, how can I be without me? Charlotte Linlin also took part in the bet. Hey, you two, we're going to win this bet, do you want to take part? John asked, glancing at Akoku and Silver Axe behind him. John and Akoku shook their heads slightly at the same time, refusing to take part in the gamble. Silver Axe was defeated by air. Therefore, although I think that air will not be recognized by Rox, he does not dare to participate in this 300 million Bailey bet. For no other reason, because the stakes, it's too big. And Akoku didn't know much about air's current strength, so he didn't dare to participate. You two guys are really stupid. John glanced at him and sneered. Then it seems that there are only 4 of us participating in this bet. If you win, we will give each of us 300 million Baileys, and if we lose, you will give us 300 million Baileys. 35. Advertisement. Golden Lion lit a cigar and said slowly. If John wins the bet, he will get 900 million Baileys. If you lose, you will have to pay 900 million Bailey. Just wait and pay, John said confidently. The money he lost in air's hands has to be recovered from Golden Lion and others. Then wait and see, John. Charlotte Linlin and others are also confident. On the battlefield, accompanied by Rox drawing his sword. Air also pulled out the big quick sword from his waist. Come on then, Air. The corners of Rox mouth rose, and the next second, holding a knife in one hand, he slashed forward. Swish. 9. The blade ripped apart the space, making a violent explosion sound, and a sharp-edged sword energy with endless power was forced out of his blade in an instant. I saw a sword energy like a shark horn, tearing the ground at high speed and cutting space. He quickly attacked Air with his inappropriate strength. The terrifying sword energy almost filled Air's entire perspective. An incomparable sense of oppression enveloped him, making him feel unprecedented pressure. However, Air was not to be outdone. Holding Demon Slayer in both hands, he slashed a slashing attack in front of him. 2 strands of sword energy traveled at high speed, and finally collided in the center. Boom! A huge roar that spread across the world and covered the entire island sounded from the center of the two. Immediately, a cloud of smoke engulfed the sky. However, the sword chi played by Rox was obviously much more tyrannical than Air's. Call out. In the smoke, the sword chi shot by Rox first destroyed Air's sword chi, and then rushed towards Air. The strength is much more terrifying than I imagined. Air's face became extremely serious, and he hurriedly waved his knife again. Hit a sword chi, which offset Rox, sword chi. Chapter 100 The Collision of Conqueror's Entanglement, Seeking Full Order. At the same time, Rox quickly passed through the smoke and arrived in front of Air in an instant. I saw that his blade was wrapped in a layer of armed color and Conqueror's haki, and he slashed directly towards Air. And Air also wrapped a layer of armed color and Conqueror's haki around the blade. The two of them swung their knives almost at the same time. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. I saw that before the blades of the two collided, a purple-red electric ball appeared in the center of the blade, spreading outwards, spreading sparks visible to the naked eye. What followed was a deafening humming sound, a ripple visible to the naked eye, which directly shook the entire island. Countless trees swayed violently, and the beasts on the island were directly shocked by this force and fell to their knees, or were directly stunned. Their knives didn't touch. How is it possible? How could this kind of momentum erupt without the knife colliding? Is this the legendary Conqueror's Entanglement? I've heard rumors that 2 Master Conquerors' powerful entwined powers will not collide with their weapons when they attack. What are you kidding? Don't you mean that Air Master has the power of Conqueror's Entanglement? The crew members who were watching in the distance were stunned when they saw this scene. When they learned that it was the power of Conqueror's Entanglement and Collision, everyone was shocked again. It's not surprising that a man like Rox has mastered the power of Conqueror's entanglement. But, how did Master Conquerors entangle the age group of air? Looking at the scene in front of him, even the Golden Lion opened his mouth a little unsettled, as the Conqueror's entanglement. It's a surprise, air actually still masters such power. Conqueror's Haki is one of the terrifying forces that can only be awakened among millions of people in this world. And Conqueror's entanglement, only awakening Conqueror's Haki can master. But, Conqueror's entangles this power, it is the power that few people can master when looking at the whole world. It can even be said that Conqueror's entanglement is the person who is at the top of the world and has the opportunity to master the power. Air's strength has improved a lot faster than I thought, this guy is a monster. Charlotte Linlin said solemnly. Advertisement. She is also the owner of Conqueror's Haki who has awakened millions of people to awaken one. But, she's only just touched the threshold of high-level conquerors. There is still a long way to go before Master Conqueror's twist. Gu la la la. Since Air joined the Rox, he is the most talented monster. It seems that to this day, there is still no one whose talent can surpass Air. Whitebeard wrapped his arms around his chest before, laughed. Damn, is the Conqueror's entanglement. Has this guy already mastered such power? John frowned when he saw this scene, feeling bad. John is also the owner of Conqueror's Haki. Therefore, he naturally knew how terrible the power of Conqueror's entanglement was. Now, seeing that Master Air has such power, he is a little flustered, if Air is recognized by Rox. Isn't he going to lose 900 million Baileys at the bet? On the battlefield, a trace of surprise flashed in Rox's eyes, and then he laughed. I am a little surprised by your progress, Air. However, even if the Master is entangled with Conquerors, in front of Captain Rox, it's still a trick, isn't it? Air's expression was solemn. How strong is the Rox? Air can fully feel it now. Even with all his strength, he unleashed the power of Conqueror's entanglement. But, still felt an unspeakable pressure on Rox. Also, Air is very clear that the current Rox are not using their full strength. This is not all your strength, Air, use all your strength, otherwise, you won't be recognized by me. Rox said lightly. Actually, when Air unleashes Conqueror's twist, Rox has fully recognized Air's terrifying talent and strength. However, he is well aware that this is not Air's limit. Because today, he is bound to play all Air's whole cards. The words fell, and Rox, arm clenched, using even more terrifying power. An overwhelming sense of oppression enveloped Air directly, before he could react. Advertisement. 0 katakana middle dot katakana middle dot katakana middle dot for flowers. Air's body was directly knocked hundreds of meters away by the Rox. Boom. His body slammed into a towering ancient tree. The incomparably gigantic ancient tree was directly knocked down by his body. Although Air has mastered the power of Conqueror's entanglement, but, in front of Captain Rox, his strength is still a bit underwhelming. Akoku sneered. Conqueror's entanglement is probably the strongest strength of Air's master, but even so, Captain Rox has not spoken out to recognize Air's strength, so it seems that he has no chance to get those 3 rewards. Akoku said slowly. Conqueror's winding power can be said to be one of the most powerful forces in the entire world. Point 0. But even if he unleashed such terrifying power, the Rox still did not recognize Air. John couldn't believe that Air could unleash a more terrifying power than Conqueror's entanglement to get Rox approval. Shaki, Linlin, Edward, I've won this bet. John saw that Air was knocked out, and the Rox did not approve of Air's strength, so he tried his confidence again. It's too early to say that, John. Charlotte Linlin gave him a nonchalant glance. Don't be stubborn, you guys just wait to pay. John said with a strong smile on the corner of his mouth. Yes, I see you guys, it seems that you are still very optimistic about Air, so do you want to increase the bet? In John's opinion, this fight Air is absolutely impossible to get Rox approval. So decide to make more money and make a raise. How much do you want to add? With a cigar in his mouth, Golden Lion spit out a cloud of smoke and grinned. 400 million more Bailey. Shaki, Linlin, do Edward dare to question John? Since you want to lose more money, how can we say no? Charlotte Linlin licked her lips greedily and smiled. Gu la la la. I was going to ask Air to buy me a drink, but if Air 700 million won Bailey this time, I'll change my mind and invite Air to drink. Whitebeard also select raise beg. Chapter 101. Ninetales mode participation, please complete order. John, if you don't give the money at that time, you should know the consequences. Golden Lion said fiercely. 2.1 billion Baileys, I still have them, but you are the ones who will pay the money. John snorted coldly. The 4 raised a further 400 million Baileys bet. If John wins, he will get a full 2.1 billion Baileys. On the other hand, if he loses, he will also pay 2.1 billion Bailey. But at this time, John was full of confidence and didn't think he would lose. On the other side, Air, who was knocked into the air, adjusted his state and couldn't help but complain. Really strong pervert. He believes that his current strength is not weak. But in front of Rox, his strength is not enough to see. Aren't you going to use your real power? Air, if it's just this kind of performance, 3 billion Baileys, 8 demon, 720, fruits, and a new demon's type devil fruit, you can take everything less. 99. Rox walked slowly to Air, taking his time. I want to ask in advance what I need to do to get the approval of Captain Rox. Air asked slightly with a brow. Rox only said that with his approval, he can get those 3 rewards. But what needs to be done by him has not been clearly stated. As long as you can leave a wound on my body, you can get my approval. Rox said calmly. Leaving a wound. It's not difficult, Air said secretly. He wasn't sure about defeating Rox, but wanted to leave a wound on him. Air thinks it can still be done. Kurama mode. Air made contact with Kurama within the spiritual space. Then a steady stream of chakra power began to pour into Air's body. His aura gradually rose, and terrifying power began to spread within his body. Afterwards, a golden light appeared on his body, and his whole body was surrounded by chuck of 9 tails. The hair is upturned to form the shape of 2 corners, and the neckline is positioned, showing a 6 tomo. On his body, a tailed beast cloak also appeared out of thin air. Since completely unlocking Kurama's power. This is also the first time Air has released Kurama mode. Different from Kurama chakra mode. Advertisement. Kurama mode, almost full use of Kurama's power. And, don't forget, Air has already unlocked 1 to 5 tails chakra in advance. Now, when Air enters Kurama mode, once you get to 5 tails chakra power, it also merges with his body, which enhances his power by no small amount. The current Air, after entering Kurama mode, can unleash more power than the original Hokage. What happened? Why is this guy Air completely different from before? Did he use the power of Devil Fruit? But his Devil Fruit ability can only be used once. Although I don't know how his body has changed, but now he looks several times stronger than before. 35. Watching Air enter Kurama mode, many onlookers were talking. From Air, the sense of terror and oppression conveyed, even if they were far apart. Gia ha ha ha, it's this power. Back then when he was on Hive Island, Air relied on this model to rival the 2 main marines and kill an admiral. Golden Lion saw this scene, the corner of his mouth twitched. Yong laughed. What? Air entered this mode and beheaded an admiral. 35. When John heard this, his pupils contracted violently. If Air can unleash the power of the Hive Island, then he has no doubts. He must be recognized by Rox, and he will pay Golden Lion and others a full 2.1 billion Bailey. Now John can be said to regret to death. He was supposed to be ripped off by Air for 2 billion Baileys. I want to make money from Golden Lion and others, if I lose. Not only can he not earn it back, but he also has to pay another 2.1 billion Bailey. Don't be kidding, didn't Edward say it before? That kind of power can only be used once. Could it be that? You are deceiving Captain Rox. Silver Axe asked with a gloomy expression, scanning a few people. No, although Air's aura has become much stronger, but if you look closely, his form seems to be a little different from the Hive Island period. Charlotte Linlin rested her chin in her hand and mused. Indeed, it's a little different from the form entered during the Beehive Island period. Whitebeard stared for a few seconds before nodding. Regardless of whether he is different, Air is already very strong, and he will definitely be recognized by the Rox. I said John, you should be ready to pay now. Golden Lion set his eyes on Silver Axe and smiled. Don't talk too soon, Shaki. John said stubbornly. Although he also believes that in this form of Air, it is very likely to be recognized by Rox. But he didn't want to admit that he lost. After all, if he lost, he would have to pay a full 2.1 billion Bailey. On the battlefield, Rox burst out laughing when he saw Air enter Kurama mode. Advertisement. Ha ha ha. Is this your true power, Air? Then let me test whether your form has the power to make me feel threatened. A trace of killing intent flashed in Rox's eyes. If Air is in this form, he can have the strength to compete with him, or close to him. So Rox, plan to get rid of Air today. Come on, Air. Without too much hesitation, Rox directly swung the knife and charged towards him. Tisk, as expected, did you kill me? After entering Kurama mode, Air has a special ability. That is malicious perception. When a trace of killing intent flashed in Rox's eyes just now, he sensed it. However, he also knew that Rox didn't mean to kill him. But to test his strength, and then decide whether to kill him. I'm going, slaying the devil. Air glanced at the blade in his hand, feeling the constant power in his body. Then a layer of armed color and conqueror's hockey wrapped around the arm. These two Hakis also merged into the Blade Slayer in his hand. I saw Haki, who numbered 4.3 in Air's body, as well as the power in his body, was swallowed by Slayer. On the blade, there is a more intense terrifying aura, as well as murderous aura. The knife in Air's hand is somewhat similar to the big sharp knife Yanmo obtained by Zoro. All of them can devour the Haki and power of the host to release stronger power. Slaying demons is also known as the Lord of Hell. The two of them swung their knives almost at the same time, and Air slashed towards Rox with all his strength. Air has been slaying demons for a while, and now he has completely surrendered with the sword of slaying demons. Yanmo is also known as the King of Hell. Tread. A semicircular sphere visible to the naked eye was centered on the two people and quickly spread around. Air held the demon slayer, trampled the ground, and charged towards the rocks at a very fast speed. Before the blades of the two men collided, an earth-shattering terrifying aura emerged. Chapter 102 The Rocks, Shock Again. Boom. The air waves swept the entire island, and countless trees collapsed. Many members of the Rox regiment were directly shocked by this force and fainted to the ground. Nice power. Air. Rox felt the power transmitted from Air's body, with a relaxed smile on his face. Boom bang bang. The blades of the two collided several times across the space. You can see the ground around them. It has long been riddled with holes and dilapidated, the soil is rolling, the gravel is flying, and the gaps are everywhere. After Air entered kurama mode, his strength has increased by many times compared to his normal state. But, even so, Air's strength is still far from Rox. Rox is worthy of being the strongest man in the world today, with the most powerful man in an era. His swordsmanship is superb, and it can even be said that he beat Air. If not because, after entering kurama mode, Air's power is too tyrannical. It can defend against your continuous attacks from Rox. Otherwise, he would have been unable to resist Rox, swordsmanship since 03. Rox is superior to Air except in swordsmanship. Armament Haki, Observation Haki, Conqueror's Haki are also on Air. You know, the Rox Conqueror's Haki, as early as the time Air came aboard, has all reached the top level. Then after Rox, more profound training. The power of his Conqueror's Haki is beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Air Conqueror's Haki, though deep enough. But after all, they haven't touched the top threshold, and they can't compare with Rox at all. Of course, there is still a gap between the two, and that is combat experience. Rox became a pirate since childhood, and now, decades have passed. He has already accumulated countless experience in life and death confrontation, and Air's time as a pirate is short after all. No matter how strong the talent is, there is a huge difference in combat experience between the two that cannot be overcome. The two fought for a long time. Advertisement. Half of the island was almost destroyed by two people. Air, though eager to find a chance, traumatized the Rox. But the hard power of Rox is too strong. Even though he has entered kurama mode, his strength has been greatly improved. But finding a flaw in Rox and causing damage to it is also quite difficult. Air, if that's the case, you won't get my approval. Rox said calmly. After a long battle with Air, the Rox have almost completely seen through Air's power. He saw the power of this academy with a sense of knowledge, and surveyed that this power is almost all of Air's power. In this way, he can draw conclusions. Although the current Air strength has surpassed all the pirates on the ship. But it has not yet approached him, nor surpassed him. After confirming the news, Rox began to release water in the middle of the battle. After all, the main purpose of his confrontation with Air was not to prevent Air from getting those 3 rewards. Just to test Air's strength, whether he needs to be eradicated. Has the water started? Air could clearly feel that Rox sword attack was not as sharp as before. If nothing else, the water started to drain. If that's the case, then this battle can already come to an end. Now that the conclusion has been drawn, the water begins. Then Air has to be more serious, and needs to make moves to hurt Rox. Then it is logical to get 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and an Udemon's devil fruit. Big screw wheel U. Air jerked backwards, and a Rasengan appeared in his palm. The Great Spiral Wheel U is not the power of the master of the Hokage ninja Naruto, but the power of the master of the Vortex ninja. Vortex Myanmar used this trick to raise the entire Konoha village with one blow. The power is so powerful, you can see Amadara. In Air's palm, a small black Rasengan was constantly spinning, like a black asteroid. Advertisement. The black Rasengan was small, not even the size of his palm. But the breath it exudes is terrifyingly terrifying. With the continuous rotation of the small black Rasengan in the palm of the hand, the terrifying atmosphere is also constantly increasing. Air jerked the black Rasengan in his hand, still towards the Rox. Boom. A loud noise that ran through the sky and shot straight into the sky suddenly lingered in the entire island. Many pirates on the island were directly shattered by this huge roaring eardrum. The terrifying momentum swept the entire island in the blink of an eye. Countless gravels, trees, and beasts were stirred into the sky, and the scene looked like an apocalyptic scene. The black smoke slowly dissipated along with the location of the rocks. Everyone could see that a bottomless pit appeared in the center. At this time, Rox's clothes were damaged, and there were many scars on his body, and blood was dripping outward. Lo, Captain Rox is injured. How is that possible? Does this guy Air have the strength of Captain Traumatized Rox? This guy's strength is too terrifying. I have joined the Rox group for so long, I have never seen how many strong men can traumatize Captain Rox. 35. Damn it, I joined the Rox group earlier than Air, how can the gap between us be so big? I also joined earlier than him, but now, I am just a formal crew member, and he not only has the identity of the main cadre, but also has the strength to traumatize the Captain Rox, and the relationship between people, the gap between the two is really disappointing. 39. Seeing that Rox was injured, many pirates on the island immediately boiled. Rox, as captain of the Rox regiment, possessing a top-notch strength, a vicious pirate who can suppress the entire ship with just one person. It also possesses the terrifying power of the tyrannical Jedi in the era. But it was such a man who was injured by Air. It's amazing power. Air. You really don't give us any way to survive in terms of talent. Golden Lion stared at Air with a slightly dignified expression. Back then, Air joined the Rox group for the first time, although he was not weak. But it was completely beaten by the Golden Lion. But now, only a while has passed. Air's strength, even the Golden Lion felt a lot of pressure. Sure enough, in terms of talent, no one in the entire Rox group can compare to Air. Chapter 103, the final indicator of Uranus. I'm really not reconciled. A monster like Air was not drawn by me. Charlotte Linlin said with great regret. After valuing Air's strength, Charlotte Linlin is trying to win over Air. But without exception, all were rejected by Air. Although I also want to attract Air with the advantages of being young, beautiful and hot. But the other party didn't seem to be interested in her, and even, had a little disgust. La. Can it hurt Captain Rox? It seems that Air can already get the approval of Captain Rox. If Air traumatized Rox, it wouldn't be recognized. That would be too exaggerated. Damn, what the hell is going on with this guy? How could he have this kind of power? John stared at Air in disbelief, his eyes full of resentment. Hey, John, this bet is yours to lose. Don't forget my 700 million Baileys. I'll see the money before today, or, you should know the consequences. Golden Lion suddenly thinking of something, he put his eyes on Silver Axe and said. This bet has won a full 700 million Bailey, which can be said to have turned the Golden Lion over. Mama. And my 700 million Baileys, don't forget John, if you don't give it, I'll let your body sink in the sea. Charlotte Linlin licked her lips and smiled greedily. Road. Out of recognition of Air's strength, it can be said that she made a lot of money today. Damn it. John clenched his fists, and there was endless anger and helplessness in his heart. Air was traumatized by the Rox, and there's no question that he's got Rox approval. If that's the case, then his bet with Golden Lion and the others is lost. Now he is extremely regretful. Why should he bet with Golden Lion and others? Why up the 400 million Bailey bet? Originally lost, only need to pay 900 million Bailey, but now need to pay a full 2.1 billion Bailey. The 2.1 billion Baileys that the bet lost, plus the 2 billion Baileys that were pitted by Air a few days ago, and 3 devil fruits. John now has the heart to die. In the battlefield. Rox put the blade back into the scabbard, jumped up from the pit and stood in front of Air, speaking lightly. Good strength Air, you've already got my approval, 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and an Eudemon's devil fruit, you can accept them all. Although he was injured by Air, such injuries were nothing to him. Advertisement. Thank you so much, Captain Rox. Air nodded and put the blade back into the scabbard. In today's battle, Air completely understood how powerful the man who occupies the top of the world is. However, Air was not born with a heart of worship. Because he is very clear that there is a system, sooner or later, he will stand in a higher position than Rox. Right now, he's just using kurama and the chakra power of 1 to 5 tails. The power of the fairy eyes has not been unlocked, and the power of 10 tails has not been unlocked. By the time these things are unlocked, Air will be at the top of the world. You will get more rewards after you help me become the world leader. Rox patted him on the shoulder. I see. Air nodded. Although it says so. However, he cursed Rox in his heart. What? You think I don't know? You want to kill me, right? When I help you become the world hegemon, I must be the first person to die. Although he scolded Rox in his heart. However, Air still kept to the promise he made with Rox when he first boarded the ship. He will fight to the end for the Rox. Of course, He's also very clear that he's going all out for the Rox. In the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, Rox will also usher in a doomed death. Knowing the ending, Air made such an agreement with Rox when he got on the ship. Ding, congratulations host, get 100 points of Sage Body Progress. What followed was Air's system panel popping up. Host. Air. Abilities. Armament Hockey, 1224 thousandths. Observation Hockey, 1224 thousandths. Conqueror's Hockey, 1164 thousandths. Special Ability. Sage Body, 3924 thousandths. Currently, in the later stage, you can obtain progress points through your own training, or you can obtain progress points through battles. Advertisement. Remarks. When the progress is full, Sage Body will be upgraded by 1 level, which will greatly improve the physical body, physical skills, and recovery power, and you will get a chance for a special lottery. Ability. Sword Great Swordsman. Unlocked Special Ability Sage Eye. Not enabled. Note. The Sage Body needs to be advanced by the host to unlock the Sage Eye. 9 Tails. Tailed Beast Bomb unlocked. Tailed Beast Transformation unlocked. Current 9 Tails form. Kurama Chakra Mode unlocked. Kurama Mode unlocked. 10 Tails unlocked. Need to unlock 1 to 8 tails of tailed beasts. You can unlock 10 tails. 1 tail unlocked, 2 tails unlocked, 3 tails unlocked, 4 tails unlocked, 5 tails unlocked, 6 tails unlocked, 7 tails unlocked, 8 tails unlocked. It can be seen that Air's Sage Body progress has reached an amazing 3,920. With only 80 points to go, his Sage Body will reach the advanced level, and he will get a chance to win a special lottery. And unlock the power of Fairy Eyes. I have to say that today's battle with Rox has made him extremely rich. Air glanced briefly at the properties panel and closed it. At the same time, O'Hara's scholar ran over and shouted. Low. Captain Rox, Uranus's final indicator has been deciphered. Finally deciphered. Ha ha ha. Zhao Laos. Now that we have obtained the final indicator of Uranus, I believe that it will not be long before we Rox Pirate can obtain Uranus and dominate the world. 99. Joining the Rox group is really the most correct choice I have made in my life. Because I can follow Captain Rox to dominate the world and enjoy endless glory and wealth. Hearing the words of Scholar O'Hara, the entire Rox group immediately gathered around and talked a lot. Almost all the crew members were excited. Compared to the excitement of the ordinary crew. Cadres such as Golden Lion and Charlotte Linlin had a solemn look on their faces. They joined the Rox group, not to help the Rox dominate the world. They are just there for profit. Now hearing the news, their hearts are not excited. Rox, eyes lit up when he heard this, and he quickly asked, Uranus, where is it? Sentencing. Chapter 104 Going to the Holy Land Mariejois. The Valley of the Gods. According to the information on the 4 historical texts he deciphered, he finally got the final indicator on it. Uranus, in the Valley of the Gods. The Valley of the Gods. Air was stunned for a moment when he heard the words, and then a meaningful smile appeared on his face. He now understands why the Rox Pirate in the original book is going to attack the Valley of the Gods. It turned out to be for ancient weapon, Uranus. But if nothing else, no one will find Uranus. Likewise, Rox will fall in the Valley of the Gods. The Valley of the Gods. This place, isn't this the sacred place of celestial dragons? Golden Lion asked in surprise. You must know that celestial dragons has 2 holy places, one is the holy place Mariejois. The other place is the Valley of the Gods. However, the Holy Land Mariejois, as the base camp of the world government, has countless powerful people. And the powerhouse in the Valley of the Gods, compared to the Holy Land Mariejois, there are not so many. However, the trace of this island is impossible to find at all. Except for some special celestial dragons know where the Valley of the Gods is located. Other than that, no one knows the location of the Valley of the Gods 720. I really didn't expect that celestial dragons would still master such an ancient weapon. Silver Axe said solemnly. It seems that it is not an easy thing to find Uranus, because we don't know where the Valley of the Gods is. Akoku expressed his opinion. Unless we get the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, in this vast new world, we are afraid that we can't find the Valley of God if we search for a lifetime. Charlotte Linlin said. New world, the aura is chaotic, and the sea area is changeable. Without the eternal pointer, it would be extremely difficult for them to find the Valley of the Gods in the new world. When Rox heard the words, he was silent for a few seconds, and then suddenly thought of something, the corner of his mouth raised slightly. A pointer to the Valley of the Gods. I think, the Holy Land Mariejois should have. Advertisement. Holy Land Mariejois and the Valley of the Gods are holy places for celestial dragons. In both places, a large number of celestial dragons live. And as celestial dragons, the 2 places are definitely connected. In this case, the Holy Land Mariejois must have pointers about the Valley of the Gods. Holy Land Mariejois. Hearing Rox's words, many cadres were stunned. That place is the headquarters of the world government, and the number of strong people is even more than naval headquarters. Edward, Shiki, Linlin, Kaido, all of you, go to the Holy Land Mariejois and retrieve the eternal pointer for me. Rox put his eyes on the five and ordered. When Kaido joined the Rox, he was only an intern. But, because the Rox group has a talented monster. All the cadres of the Rox regiment were inspired. Even in the process of looking for the historical text, I have never forgotten to carry out high-intensity training. Just to not be pulled too far by Air's strength. And Kaido, because Charlotte Linlin is highly valued, has launched a devilish training on him. Kaido also deserves to be one of the future 4 emperors. With strong perseverance, she survived Charlotte Linlin's devil training and was finally promoted to a cadre position. Edward, Shiki, Linlin, Kaido, don't disappoint Captain Rox, you must retrieve the eternal pointer to the Valley of the Gods at the Holy Land Mariejois. Silver Axe said with a slight smile on his lips. Yeah, Captain Rox values you so much and entrusts you with such important tasks. You must not let us down. John smiled when he heard Rox's words. Holy Land Mariejois, this place, although they haven't been there. But you must know that this place is the base of the world government. The number of strong people is naturally not added, to say more. This time, it is undoubtedly an extremely difficult task for a few people to go to such a dangerous place to find the eternal pointer. Even, it is possible that several people will fall in the Holy Land of Mariejois. Silver Axe couldn't help but secretly rejoice that he was not selected by the Rox. Advertisement. And John, praying in his heart, Air and others fell in the Valley of God. Captain Rox, it would be too difficult to find the eternal pointer if only the 5 of us went. Why not call Silver Axe and John together? Wouldn't it be more convenient for more people to find them? Golden Lion glanced at the 2 of them, and then suggested. Yeah, John and Silver Axe are also very efficient in their work. Let them go together. I believe this mission will be successfully completed. Charlotte Linlin also agreed. Shiki, Linlin, and Captain Rox value you the most. I believe the 5 of you alone are enough to complete the mission, and we don't need us at all. Silver Axe said quickly, afraid that the Golden Lion would pull him into the water. Yeah, you are the only ones who will never disappoint Captain Rox. I believe that you can also successfully complete this mission. John also hurriedly spoke out, for fear of the words of Golden Lion and Charlotte Linlin. The Rox also sent the 2 of them to the most dangerous holy site, Mariejois. Although this mission is dangerous, it is also rewarding. Rox said suddenly with his hands on his back. Reward? What reward? 9. When Golden Lion and the others heard the words, their eyes lit up, and they hurriedly asked. As long as one of you can get the eternal pointer in the Holy Land Mariejois, then after reaching the Valley of Gods, you will all have the right to choose the treasure first. Rox took it slow. You know, the Valley of the Gods is the holy land of celestial dragons. And celestial dragons, but the world's richest nobles, no one. There is no doubt that there are countless treasures above the Valley of the Gods. And with the right to choose first, then they will be able to choose extremely valuable treasures. Golden Lion was stunned when he heard the words, and then laughed. Gee ha ha ha, Captain Rox, don't worry, Shiki, will definitely complete this mission successfully and bring you back the eternal pointer to the Valley of the Gods. Captain Rox, entrust us with such important tasks, and we will certainly not let Captain Rox down. Charlotte Linlin also said. Although, Golden Lion and Charlotte Linlin, I don't want to help Rox get Uranus and dominate the world. But in their hearts, they already have their own abacus. They have already decided, when they reach the Valley of the Gods, if they find Uranus first. Then they will not hand over this ancient weapon to Rox, but flee directly from the Valley of the Gods. Chapter 105. The behind-the-scenes boss of world government. And if they didn't find Uranus first, then they will also have the right to choose the treasure first. In the future, you can also find a way to backstab the Rox, or take away Uranus. In short, this time, I went to the Holy Land Mariejois to find the mission of the eternal pointer. For them, there is no harm. Captain Rox, I don't think it's possible to complete the mission by sending only 5 of them, so I decided to go there myself. Akoku said suddenly. The Holy Land Mariejois is dangerous, but the rewards of the Valley of the Gods are extremely attractive. Hearing the right to be the first to choose the treasure in the Valley of God, John quickly said. Shiki, Linlin, I think you two are right. The more people there are, the easier it is to find them. Captain Rox, let me go too. Silver Axe also said. They were still gloating, and such a dangerous task fell on Air and others. But when they heard what Rox said that they had the right to choose the treasure first, they were all moved. Needless to say, the task of finding the eternal pointer this time is handed over to Air, Edward, Shiki, Linlin, and Kaido. It's not too late, you can go. Rox said lightly. Yes, Captain Rox. 99. The five said in unison. Rox first gave Air 3 billion Baileys, 8 devil fruits, and an Eudemon's devil fruit. The Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, and Whitebeard each demanded 700 million Baileys from John. Then, Rox prepared boats for several people. The five of them did not stop at all, and immediately boarded the boat to go to the Holy Land Mariejois. And John, Silver Axe, Akoku, and others watched Air and the others board the boat and leave. Endless jealousy arises in my heart. Especially John. In just 2 days, he is about to go bankrupt. A full loss of 4.1 billion Baileys, and 3 devil fruits. Today, even the Valley of the Gods has not obtained the qualification to pick the treasure first. At the same time, advertisement. On the other side, the Holy Land Mariejois. After a long time, Brownie came to the highest hall again, ready to report the news to the 5 elders. Kakaka. Brownie slowly opened the door, and what caught his eye was the luxurious decoration, and 5 elders appeared in his sight. Before Brownie could speak, the scarred old man looked at Erlang's legs and asked while lying on the sofa. These days, I believe that your marines have attacked a lot of Rox cadres at sea. Is there any air among them? No. Brownie shook his head slightly. Since some time ago. The cadres of the Rox regiment all went out for unknown reasons, as if they were looking for some news. And they marine also took the opportunity to kill several cadres of the Rox regiment. However, no favorable information has been knocked out from the mouths of this group of cadres. Likewise, their marine main force did not encounter air at sea, let alone take air. In other words, you came to report the news this time, and it's not about air, right, Brownie? The 33-haired old man frowned slightly and said coldly. Since that year, after the battle on Hive Island, they have ordered Marine to get rid of air. Today, the cadres of the Rox group go alone because they want to inquire about the whereabouts of the historical text. This is great news for Marine. Because if you can find air's clues on the sea, you can start erasing them. But, for so long, there is still no news of air's removal from Marine. It annoys them a bit. Yes, you guy, it's not once or twice that we have been disappointed. The long straight-haired old man snorted coldly. If it weren't for the fact that Marine didn't have a suitable marshal candidate, your performance over the years would be enough for us to remove you from your position, you know, Brownie. The old man in a black suit said gloomily. Hearing the scolding from the 5 elders, Brownie didn't say anything, but lowered his head slightly. Naturally, he is also very clear that his performance has been poor over the years. Forget it, let's report the purpose of this visit. The old man with the knife said lightly while sitting on the sofa. Advertisement. According to the latest news from our Marine, all the Rox Regiment cadres who are currently out have returned to the Rox Regiment. 5. Brownie raised his head slightly and told the truth. Because of what? According to the information we collected a few days ago, the Rox Regiment is looking for the ancient weapon. Now that all the cadres have returned to the Rox Regiment, they may have found the ancient weapon. 35 Brownie said with a serious look. 0. Ask for flowers. There are not a few cadres in the Rox Regiment. Golden Lion, Silver Axe are the main cadres. In addition to the first time, there are ordinary cadres. And they, Marine, chased down a cadre of the Rox Regiment 2 days ago, and the news that the Rox Regiment was looking for the ancient weapon came out of his mouth. However, it is only a matter of looking for the whereabouts of the ancient weapon. As for the search for the ancient weapon, the progress of their Marine is still unclear. Ancient weapon. Hearing this, the 5 elders in the entire conference room were stunned. 0. There are indeed many strong men on the Rox group today, and they are all extremely difficult existences. But such existence is not enough to shake the foundation of their world government. But if the Rox group finds the ancient weapon, it will be troublesome. This will cause huge damage to the foundation of their world government. I really didn't expect that the purpose of the Rox Regiment's dispatch of cadres during this period of time was actually for the ancient weapon. 35. However, Poseidon has not yet been born. As for the Pluton battleship, which is now in a certain corner of the world, our world government has been tracking this battleship for hundreds of years, and we still haven't gotten a single clue. I don't believe the mere Rox Regiment. The intelligence capability is even bigger than our world government. Since Poseidon and Pluton are unlikely to be the ancient weapons obtained by the Rox Regiment, could it be Uranus? This is even more impossible. Uranus was placed somewhere by Lord Yimu. Even if we don't know that place, it is absolutely impossible for the Rox to find Uranus. But then again, I seem to remember that when Lord Yimu placed Uranus somewhere for fun, he engraved the index on the historical text. The long straight-haired old man stroked his beard and reminded him. Am is a monster in this world that has survived for 800 years. On the way, it is natural to be bored, and to do something interesting. Among them, there is the act of placing Uranus somewhere and engraving the index under the historical text. Chapter 106. Charlotte Linlin's attendant Kaido. Hearing his words, the other 5 elders suddenly came to their senses. According to you, the members of the Rox regiment are all assembled. Could it be that they have found the historical text about Uranus and have now obtained the final indicator? It's unlikely the Rox will find Poseidon or Pluton. Then the only possibility is to find the historical text of Uranus. If this is the case, it is possible that the Rox will get Uranus. Do you want to report this news to Lord Yimu? Report to Lord Yimu. Don't be kidding. When Lord Yimu engraved the final indicator of Uranus in the historical text, I believe that she has already thought of countermeasures, and there is no need to report such information to her. 5. Although they believed that the Imam at that time was just because of fun, he engraved the indicator of Uranus, 720, Uranus on the historical text. However, they also believed that since Am would do this, she naturally had her own plans. Brownie, keep an eye on the whereabouts of the Rox group, and report to us if you get any news. After discussion, they had guessed that the Rox group got the final indicator of Uranus. But, as for where Uranus is, they don't know. But they didn't want to bother Am so casually either. So let Brownie continue to pay attention to the movements of the Rox group and make plans. I see. Come on down. The 5 elders waved their hands. Yes. After leaving this sentence, Brownie left the highest hall. 2 days later, everyone drove the boat and came to the bottom of the red line. It can be seen that in front of everyone, there is a huge city wall that towers into the clouds and can't see the edge. The whole wall is red, huge and magnificent. It's finally here, and that's what we're here for, the Holy Land Mariejois. Charlotte Linlin stood on the bow, looking at the high city wall road that could not be seen. Should we go straight up now? Kaido glanced at it, and the red line in front asked. Of course not. There are countless powerhouses in the Holy Land Mariejois. If they break in directly, they will be discovered immediately. Golden Lion leisurely lit a cigar and sat on the railing of the boat. Advertisement. The Holy Land Mariejois is the base of the world government. And world government is an institution above naval headquarters. It is also the most powerful force that has ruled the world for 800 years. And Rox's ultimate goal is to overthrow the world government and become the world's hegemon. Before getting Uranus, even Rox does not think that he has the ability to fight against the world government head-on. And there are only 5 of them now. How can they confront the powerhouses of the entire Holy Land Mariejois? When will that be? Kaido asked suspiciously. Hearing Kaido's words, Air and the others all cast a surprised look. What's so special? If you don't break in now, you must break in at night. When can it be? According to Air's impression of Kaido from God's perspective, this guy should be a cunning and scheming person. Why does it seem a bit stupid, clumsy? According to Air's guess. Maybe it's because Kaido has been beaten by the sea after the Rox disbanded, so he became smart. Looking at it now, it is indeed still a stinky kid. Charlotte Linlin patted Kaido on the shoulder and said, I said Kaido, if you really have nothing to do, start training. I see. Kaido nodded. Then started training alone. Today's Kaido is still young, and his strength is not strong. The Rox group can be said to be Charlotte Linlin's little follower. Kaido, I really listen to you, Linlin. Golden Lion raised his brows slightly and said.
To be honest, the Golden Lion is envious. Charlotte Linlin has players like Kaido. After all, Kaido's talent, they're there for all to see. Although not as fast as Air's pervert-like progress. However, his talent can also be ranked in the forefront of the entire Rox group. Advertisement, Mamama. After all, I rescued him from the Hive Island. Charlotte Linlin laughed oddly. In the Battle of Hive Island that year, Air only planned to take Whitebeard away. And Charlotte Linlin rescued the Golden Lion and Kaido. Kaido is still young, and carries out the idea of repaying gratitude. So I stayed directly with Charlotte Linlin. But then again Shiki, you still owe me a favor, Charlotte Linlin said suddenly. Had it not been for her to have rescued the Golden Lion. With the physique of the Golden Lion, he will definitely be washed into the sea and then arrested by Marine. It can be said that Charlotte Linlin is the savior of the Golden Lion. Even without you, I can escape from the Hive Island. Golden Lion crossed his arms in front of his chest and said lightly. Really? You mean, you didn't plan to pay Shiki back this favor? Charlotte Linlin said coldly, her face sank. Strictly speaking, I owe Air a favor, and without Air, all of us would have to die on the Hive Island. 35. Golden Lion glanced at her lightly and said calmly. Even though I said that, but it was me, Shiki, who saved you in the end. Golden Lion snorted coldly and did not continue to say anything. Seeing Shiki's attitude, Charlotte Linlin sneered. If you don't repay this favor, I'll hunt you down, Shiki, to the ends of the earth. Shut up, Linlin, I will repay this favor. Seeing Charlotte Linlin, who has been pursuing the human issue 4.3, the Golden Lion said impatiently. Although his mouth is impatient, Golden Lion is also a man of gratitude. This favor, he will definitely find a chance to return it to her in the future. Hearing Golden Lion's satisfactory answer, Charlotte Linlin didn't say anything more. By the way, Air, now, can you still use the power you used during the Battle of Hive Island? Whitebeard suddenly asked. Despite what Air had said earlier, that ability could only be used once. Still, Whitebeard didn't believe it, just thought Air used that excuse to fool the rocks. And if Air can still unleash that amazing power now, well, this attack on the Holy Land Mariejois, looking for the Eternal Pointer, will definitely be smooth sailing. Chapter 107 The Battle of the Holy Land Mariejois. No, Air shook his head slightly. Six Path Sage Mode Experience Card, he only got one. Want to use that power again, unless you get another one. Or, his own strength can enable Six Path Sage Mode. Air, I'm more and more curious now, what exactly is the devil fruit you eat? If possible, I'll give you 100 million Bailey. Can you tell me the secret of your devil fruit? Charlotte Linlin asked with interest. Road. He had seen Air use his special power 3 times in total. The first time was when the two of them went to the Rox Pirates together. The second time was during the Battle of Beehive Island. The third time was the power used in the recent confrontation between Air and the rocks. Charlotte Linlin, even after rummaging through the entire sea of devil fruit illustrations, no description of devil fruit similar to Air was found either. So now, he is full of curiosity about Air's devil fruit. Instead of pursuing the secrets of the devil fruit I ate, why not think about how to find the eternal pointer of the Valley of God after going to the Holy Land Mariejois? Air spread his hands and smiled. UB asterisk 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 D, 100 million Bailey, can't figure out the secret of your devil fruit? What if I give out 200 million Baileys? Air, can I ask you the secret of devil fruit? Golden Lion crossed his arms in front of his chest and suggested. The Golden Lion knows, when the Rox group disbands, the strongest enemy standing in front of him is Air. But now he still doesn't know what kind of secret Air's devil fruit has. If you can find it out of his mouth, then you can still study and countermeasures against Air in the future. It's just an ordinary devil fruit, there's nothing to say, Air said flatly. Ordinary? Hearing his words, everyone was stunned, even Kaido, who was cultivating, frowned. They were on Beehive Island. I saw Air with my own eyes. One man fought 2 Marines' top combat power, and beheaded a Marine admiral. Such a devil fruit can only be described with an ordinary sentence? Advertisement Air's remarks made several people feel that he was in Versailles. However, it seems that Air has no plans to tell his devil fruit secret. The crowd did not continue to ask questions. Time passed, and night came. When the dark clouds hang high from the sky, the 5 fingers can't be seen. Everyone knew that it was time to climb to the top of the Holy Land Mariejois. As night falls, it's our turn to play. Golden Lion swayed his fingers slightly, then manipulated the boat under his feet and began to fly towards the height of the red line. As the boat continued to rise, everyone could see that even the clouds were halfway up the red line. This is enough to prove how unusual the height of this red line is. The Golden Lion steered the boat, and after flying for a while, everyone finally arrived at the Holy Land Mariejois. Through the faint moonlight, everyone can see that in front of them are countless beautifully decorated and luxurious buildings. This is the place where the richest nobles in the world, the celestial dragons, live. Looking around, nothing but luxury. Would you like to make a plan or something? Kaido said suddenly. Hearing his words, several people fell into a moment of contemplation. Indeed, how dangerous is this search for the eternal pointer in the Valley of the Gods in the Holy Land Mariejois? It is no less than the dilemma faced in the Battle of the Hive Island that year. If you don't make a plan, then, it's easy to die in this place. I remember that there are countless slaves in this place. If the slaves can be released, it will surely cause a lot of movement, so that the attention of the powerful people in the Holy Land Mariejois will be on the slaves, and we can also wait for the opportunity to move. Air rested his chin in his hand, pondered for a few seconds and spoke. Although it was also the first time he arrived in person at the Holy Land Mariejois. But, he once stood in the perspective of God, knows more about the Holy Land Mariejois than anyone present. Gia ha ha ha. That's a good idea, Air, Golden Lion agreed. If the slaves are not released, once they encounter any enemies in this place, advertisement, then the powerhouses of the entire Holy Land Mariejois are dispatched. The goal must be placed on them, and then the trouble will be big. And to free the slaves, the target of the powerhouse must be the group of slaves who escaped immediately. And they can also look for the eternal pointer of the Valley of God in this turmoil. Then the plan is implemented. Whitebeard nodded in agreement. Do you know where the slaves of the Holy Land Mariejois are kept, Air? Charlotte Linlin asked. How could I know this? Just look for it. Air spread his hands. Since the plan is already in place, let's split up the action, don't make any noise for the time being, and aim to find the place where the slaves are held first. After the slaves are freed, start another destruction of the holy site of Mariejois and make the place even more chaotic, proposed the Golden Lion. Everyone nodded and agreed with the proposal. Gu la la la. Air, after this mission, we should have a good drink in 720. Before leaving, Whitebeard patted Air on the shoulder and smiled. Certainly. After leaving this sentence, the 5 people disappeared into the night moon. Air, on the other hand, did not rush to find the slave city directly. But in Kurama's spiritual space, 8 devil fruits were taken out. These 8 devil fruits are exactly the 8 that he brought back to the historical text and was rewarded by Rox. After obtaining devil fruit, he has been stored in Kurama's spiritual space. Now, he has a chance to be alone, ready to unlock the chakra power of 6 tails. Ding! It is detected that there is devil fruit in host's hand. Do you want to use it to unlock 6 tails? Sure. Air confirmed without any hesitation. Ding! Congratulations host, consume 8 devil fruits to unlock the chakra power of 6 tails. With the unlocking of the chakra power of 6 tails, the current Air, only 7 tails and 8 tails have not been unlocked. If nothing else, to unlock these 2 tails, you need to consume 19 devil fruit. Of course. That's without exception, because Air isn't sure either. Will he wait until he unlocks 7 tails, 8 tails? The devil fruit he needs is not the 19 he imagined. Chapter 108 Release all slaves. Open the properties panel, 39. As Air's voice fell, the attribute panel popped into his sight. Host. Air abilities. Armament hockey, 1,224 thousandths. Observation hockey, 1,224 thousandths. Conqueror's hockey, 1,164 thousandths. Special ability. Sage body, 3,924 thousandths. Currently, in the later stage, you can obtain progress points through your own training, or you can obtain progress points through battles. Remarks. When the progress is full, Sage body will be upgraded by 1 level, which will greatly improve the physical body, physical skills, and recovery power, and you will get a chance for a special lottery. Ability. Sword, Great Swordsman. Unlocked special ability Sage Eye. Not enabled. Note. The Sage body needs to be advanced by the host to unlock the Sage Eye. 9 tails. Tailed Beast Bomb. Unlocked. Tailed Beast Transformation. Unlocked. Current 9 tails form. Kurama Chakra Mode. Unlocked. Kurama Mode. Unlocked. 10 tails. Unlocked. Need to unlock 1 to 8 tails of tailed beasts. You can unlock 10 tails. 1 tail. Unlocked. 2 tails. Unlocked. 3 tails. Unlocked. 4 tails. Unlocked. 5 tails. Unlocked. 6 tails. Unlocked. 7 tails. Unlocked. 8 tails. Unlocked. Looking at the progress of Sage body, it has reached an astonishing 3920. At this time, Air was looking forward to it. In this mission in the Holy Land Mariejois, can you meet a suitable opponent? Let his Sage body progress to 4,000, and then reach the later level. A cursory scan of the properties panel, and Air closes it. Then began to look for the slave city. I have to say that the area of the Holy Land Mariejois is extremely extensive, and most of the areas are prosperous cities. However, there are some areas that are deserted. This is true, after all, at the top of the red line, the area is boundless. And the number of celestial dragons is also limited. Naturally, they don't build buildings on every inch of land at the top of the red line. Air hides his breath, avoiding the patrolling guards while looking for the slave city where slaves are held. However, in this bustling shrine Mariejois, Air almost walked around, but never found the slave city. If you are a slave, you will definitely not be imprisoned in this holy place, Mariejois. If that's the case, then it should be in a desolate area. 5. Advertisement. Air rested his chin in his hand and thought seriously. The treatment of slaves by celestial dragons is inhumane. Then they will definitely not be in this bustling city. Build a slave city where slaves are held. Then the only possibility is to build at the top of the red line, some desolate place. With this idea in mind, Air started running towards the edge of the Holy Land Mariejois. In the end, in a desolate area with uneven ground, a magnificent but somewhat old building was found. Through the faint moonlight, Air noticed that there were 3 big characters slave city right above the gate. Found. 99. Air muttered. Who? At this moment, several guards guarding the slave city, armed with weapons, appeared in front of Air. Numerous guards noticed. Air doesn't wear celestial dragon specific clothes, so he's not a celestial dragon's. Who are you guy? Intruder. How arrogant, don't you know where this place is?
It's been so many years, no one has dared to step into the Holy Land Mariejois, you are so bold. Many guards surrounded Air and were about to attack him. Shoo! Suddenly, there was a violent aura in the space, a ferocious sword light flashed, and the heads of many guards flew high. Before they died, they only saw their corpse being sprayed with blood. But he didn't know how he died, because everything came so suddenly, so fast. Boom boom. The heads of several guards fell heavily to the ground. Air came to the corpses of several guards and got the keys to the inner cells of the slave city on their bodies. Then he came to the door. Advertisement, shoo. Another knife, the terrifying power of the knife, directly slashed the huge stone gate in front of him in half. Take. Tread. Tread. In this dead slave city without a trace of light, there was a sound of footsteps. Numerous slaves who were imprisoned in the prison door raised their heads when they heard the sound, and looked at Air's figure. I've been imprisoned here, waiting for your end to be death. Today I will liberate you, but I think you are full of resentment towards this holy place, Mariejois, and celestial dragons. Do you want to make a scene here? 99. Air put the blade back into the scabbard. With his hands on his back, he watched the endless prison cells and shouted countless slaves. He freed the slaves in order to attract the attention of the powerful by causing them to make a huge noise in the holy land of Mariejois. He didn't want to. After the slaves were freed, the slaves fled the holy land Mariejois directly. Although it is said that even if they want to escape, they will still attract the attention of the powerhouses in this place. However, if the first thought of this group of slaves is not to escape, but to cause damage, it was all the better for him to search for the whereabouts of the eternal pointer in the buildings of that prosperous holy place of Mariejois. You want to release us? In a cell, there was a slightly weak voice. Yes. Air's voice fell, and all the cells in the entire slave city suddenly boiled. Air used the key, Zhao Lao's, to open one cell, and then handed the key to the slaves so they could open the other cells. Destroy this evil sanctuary Mariejois. Within a short time, the entire slave city, tens of thousands of slaves, were all released. I have to say, these slaves hate celestial dragons to the point of ultimate. Hearing Air's words reminded all the slaves of the fear of being dominated by celestial dragons. Before leaving, Air did not forget to shout. Countless slaves began to pour into the holy land Mariejois in a mighty manner, to destroy. Countless celestial dragons were slaughtered by slaves on this day, fireworks burst out, and the wailing filled the huge sacred place. Countless black smoke shrouded the sky over the holy Mariejois. Holy land Mariejois. Within moments, countless buildings were destroyed. Chapter 109. The Talk of the Five Elders. Holy land Mariejois. Inside the highest hall, a world government official rushed in and reported in a panic. Lord Five Elders, for some reason, all the slaves in Slave City ran out. 99. Is the movement outside coming from a slave? The blonde old man said lightly while lying on the sofa. Even if they were in the highest hall, they were still slightly aware of an abnormality in the holy land Mariejois. Yes. The government official nodded. Who let them out, or did they escape by themselves? The 35-year-old man with straight hair asked. Right now. It's not clear. Notify the members of the CP organization to capture all these slaves. The old man with the knife instructed. Yes. After the government officials left these words, they left quickly. What do you think about the slaves escaping from the slave city? The old man in a black suit took a sip of tea and said, looking at the people around him. Although there is a precedent for slaves escaping from slave city, but I always feel that things are not that simple. The blonde old man raised his brows slightly and expressed his opinion. Road. The slave city was established a long time ago. Among them, there have also been examples of slaves rushing out of the cell and then releasing all the slaves in the entire slave city. However, the blonde old man vaguely sensed something was wrong. Because a few days ago, they received the news that the Rox group had assembled. And according to their discussions, it is inferred that the Rox group has mastered the historical text of Uranus. But now, the incident of slaves rushing out of Slave City happened so quickly. This made him guess that all this may not be a coincidence. Indeed, the news of the formation of the Rox group came out only a few days ago, and today there was an incident of slaves rushing out of the Slave City. I infer that all this may be done by the Rox group. The long straight-haired old man stroked his beard and expressed his opinion. But why did the Rox show up at Holy Land Mariejois to free the slaves? The old man in a black suit asked suspiciously. Hearing his words, several of the five elders also fell into brief contemplation. Advertisement. The Rox group is very cautious in doing things. If the Holy Land Mariejois didn't have what they wanted, they wouldn't have taken such a big risk and set foot on the Holy Land. Could it be that Uranus was buried in this holy place Mariejois by Lord I Am, and the people of the Rox regiment appeared here, freeing slaves to create chaos in order to find Uranus? The old man with the knife said himself, understanding.
No, although I don't know where Lord Yimu buried Uranus, what is certain is that she will not be so boring and put Uranus in the Holy Land Mariejois. The old man in a black suit shook his head slightly. In that case, why did the Rox group appear here? Everyone looked at each other. No matter how they discussed it, it was unclear why the Rox group appeared in this place. Or, they're still not sure if it's really the Rox who showed up at this place to free the slaves. It is impossible for them to obtain accurate information in any case based on verbal discussions and speculation. I think, rather than deduce the cause of this incident, it's better to go out and see if the Rox are in Holy Land Mariejois. 5. If the members of the Rox were not in the Holy Land Mariejois, then it can be concluded that the slaves escaped on their own. And if the Rox group is in the Holy Land Mariejois, then they can both wipe out the Rox group. It can also be found in them, the reason for appearing here. And intelligence about Uranus. The people from the CP organization are estimated to have been dispatched now, but if the opponent is the Rox group, the CP organization alone cannot eliminate it. In that case, I will go out and take a look myself. The old man with the knife speak out. Although said, their Holy Land Mariejois is strong like a cloud. However, the Rox group, after all, is the most vicious pirate group in the New World. With the CP organization alone, I'm afraid it won't be able to take it down. Then it's up to you. As longtime companions, comrades in arms, they still know each other's strength very well. Therefore, they can rest assured that the Rox group will be handed over to the old man with the knife. However, it is bound to leave a living mouth, because we have to extract information from their mouths. I see. Advertisement. The old man with the knife nodded, and then left the highest hall. Meanwhile, the other side. The massive destruction caused by slaves in the Holy Land of Mariejois. Naturally, it also caught the attention of Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido and others. Gia ha ha ha. Has the slave been freed? Then it seems that it is time to act and find the eternal pointer. 5. The Golden Lion, hidden in the high-altitude night, sees the Holy Land Mariejois, the shrouded fireworks and the thick smoke. I know that the slave has been freed. However, before taking action, let's do some damage first. The corner of Golden Lion's mouth rose slightly. Lion Majesty, Thousand Slice Valley. The Golden Lion suddenly pulled out the swords from his waist, in order to bring the Holy Land Mariejois into more chaos. He decided to follow the previously decided plan and personally come to the destruction. He held Sakura 10 and Kiku, wrapped around a layer of armament hockey, and slammed into the space in front of him. Shish. His slashing speed is extremely fast, and in an instant, the blade cuts across the space countless times. I saw one after another terrifying, ferocious, and extremely lethal sword energy being forced out from his blade. Boom. 5. It appears that the slaves have been released. 35. Watching the countless slaves killing celestial dragons and destroying buildings on the street, Charlotte Linlin said lightly. However, in the process of looking for the eternal pointer, the three met again. On the other side, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido, Whitebeard. Countless golden slashes landed on the buildings of the Holy Land Mariejois. After doing all this, the Golden Lion hides its breath and begins to search for the whereabouts of the eternal pointer. The three of them had originally acted separately. A large number of buildings were directly split in half by his sword energy and turned into ruins. Chapter 110. 5 Elders, CPO organization appears. Then let's proceed as planned, and destroy the Holy Land Mariejois. Whitebeard glanced at the two of them and reminded. Understood. Kaido nodded. Empty shock. The veins in Whitebeard's arm suddenly appeared, and he slammed into the space in front of him. It can be seen that the space is directly broken into countless cracks, which are densely packed like spider webs. In the next second, the shattered space formed a terrifying momentum, rushing forward. Waiguo, Charlotte Linlin, on the other hand, turned the hat on her head into an emperor sword, holding the emperor sword in both hands, and slammed a blow towards the front. Powerful country, it is the horror ability that Charlotte Linlin had learned in the Land of Giants. The power of the whole body can be poured into the blade, so as to play a very devastating force, volume. Shoo! With Charlotte Linlin's arm waving, a terrifying sword air flew out. Rip through space at high speed, destroy the ground, and move forward with Whitebeard's punch to destroy the front. Thunder 8 trigrams. Kaido held a mace in both hands, wrapped in a thick layer of armament hockey. His arms burst with blue veins, and with all his strength, he swung forward. The terrifying power was poured into the mace, and a violent whirlwind flew directly forward. The attacks from the three were fused together. Boom. With a loud bang, the central location of the Holy Land Mariejois exploded directly. Countless buildings, celestial dragons, slaves, were smashed to rubble and died directly under the blow of the three people. The joint strike of the three made the huge Holy Land Mariejois tremble. Countless sand and gravel flew across the sky, thick smoke and fire all over the sky. Now that the Holy Land Mariejois is chaotic enough, I believe that the attention of the powerful in the world government will be all on the slaves, and we can also wait for an opportunity in the dark. Charlotte Linlin turned the Emperor's sword into a hat and smiled slightly on her head. Today's holy site, Mariejois, is in disarray, not surprisingly. The attention of all the world government's strong will be attracted by slaves, and they can also act in the dark. Today's mission is the most dangerous one I have performed since I joined the Rox group. I hope this time it will be smooth sailing. Kaido put away his mace and said solemnly. It's unlikely that everything will be smooth sailing, and we still need to beware of the attention of the world government powerhouses, Whitebeard reminded. Mamama. Instead of worrying about this, it's better to quickly find the whereabouts of the eternal pointer in the Valley of the Gods while these slaves have not been killed. Advertisement. That's true. Then let's act separately. If we stay together, we can only increase the probability of being discovered by the world government powerhouse. When the words fell, Charlotte Linlin rode on the white cloud Zeus, disappeared into the dark night, and began to search for the eternal pointer of the Valley of God. Whitebeard and Kaido did not stay in place too much and left quickly. Meanwhile, the Holy Land Mariejois, a certain area. Black smoke billows here, firelights everywhere, and corpses are everywhere. It's like an apocalypse. Where is the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods? Air grabbed a celestial dragon by the neck and asked coldly. He had been looking around a few times while the slaves were destroying the holy site of Mariejois, but never got any clues about the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. So, I found a celestial dragon and asked for information. You be asterisk 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 asterisk, do you know who I am? Let me go. Celestial Dragon's face flushed from being pinched by air, he struggled. The name Celestial Dragons, he never thought that he was used to being arrogant and domineering all his life. Now, he was strangled by a stranger in his own territory. This made him surprisingly angry. Air's arm was slightly forced, and he said coldly. Give you one more chance to tell the whereabouts of the eternal pointer in the Valley of God, or you will die here. Celestial dragons hadn't exercised after all, and when Air grabbed his neck like this, he couldn't breathe. And Air saw that he had no plans to say anything, and his arm was slightly strengthened again. Crack. Celestial dragons had their necks severed, completely dead. Celestial dragons' mouths are really hard. Air couldn't help but complain. Although I heard, celestial dragons are the masters who eat the soft and fear the hard. But killing a celestial dragons today changed Air's perception. What's so special? He was almost strangled to death, and he still had no plans to say anything. This level of stubbornness is stronger than that of the pirates of the New World. The cadre of the Rox, Air. Suddenly a voice came into Air's ear. Through the surrounding firelight, Air saw that countless men with masks were approaching him. Advertisement 0. Ask for flowers. Anyone from the CP organization? See this somewhat familiar mask. Air recognized that what appeared in front of him was the strongest shield of celestial dragons, the CPO organization. The corpse next to him is celestial dragons. Damn it, the Rox are too arrogant. They dared to break into the Holy Land Mariejois and blatantly kill the celestial dragons. Everything is to blame for that group of incompetent Marines who have dealt with the Rox regiment for so long and still haven't gotten rid of them. Since we met today, let's replace Marine and get rid of this man. 99. The members of the CPO organization who just arrived noticed the corpse of celestial dragons beside Air. It has to be said that Air's courage really surprised them. Point 0 after all, what is the Holy Land Mariejois? This is the base camp of the world government. But Air can't help but dare to break into this place, and dare to kill the world's most noble celestial dragons. The slaves in Slave City, did you release them? The leading CP captain asked coldly. I believe that after you saw me, it was already very clear. Why bother asking? Air said calmly. Interesting. The people of the Rox are so brave. Since Marine can't end your journey, let me do it. Choke. The captain of the CP organization. Without talking nonsense, he directly pulled out the blade from his waist, exuding a strong killing intent all over his body. The CPO organization, as the strongest shield of celestial dragons, naturally none of the people in this organization is a simple role. And the man standing in front of Air. He is also the captain of the CPO organization. In terms of strength, he is among the strongest in the entire Holy Land Mariejois, and he can also take the top spot. I saw an old man wearing a white Taoist robe with a knife on his waist, slowly approaching to beg here. Tisk, it's really troublesome. I haven't found the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods, and someone has come to the door, Air secretly said. Just as the battle between the two was about to break out. Tread. 35 in the face of the leader of the CPO organization who exudes murderous intent, Air is not to be outdone. There was a sound of footsteps in the distance, and Air looked back. Choke. 35 He directly pulled out the big quick sword around his waist to slay the demons, exuding the same aura of dominance. Chapter 111 Air vs Celestial Dragons Strongest Shield CPO. 5 Elders. When he saw the identity of the visitor, Air's expression changed slightly. He didn't expect the top leader of the world government to appear so quickly, and he also met him. Is he really from the Rox group? The old man with the knife said indifferently, standing not far behind Air. Originally, they had guessed that this time the slaves were released by the Rox regiment. Now that he sees Air, he knows that his earlier speculation was correct. Trouble. Air couldn't help thinking that something was wrong. Although, the current Air will also unlock the Six Tails chakra power. Moreover, in the confrontation with the Rox, there is a whole card. That is, the full-tailed beast form has not been used yet. But, Air is very clear, even if he released the complete tail, 720, beast form. Under the siege of the CPO leader and the 5 elders, he is also likely not an opponent. Even, he felt that the 5 elders alone were enough to give her a headache. Lord 5 Elders. Seeing the 5 elders approaching here, all the members of the CPO organization knelt down on one knee, extremely respectful. What is the purpose of your Rox regiment coming to the Holy Land Mariejois, Air? Do you think I'll answer if you ask? Damn, I have to figure out a way to attract Whitebeard and the others too. Otherwise, today, I will most likely fall in this place. Air and the 5 elders have no chance of winning one-on-one, not to mention there are people from the CPO organization on the side. But, if it can attract all 4 of Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, and Kaido, there is still a good chance, the old man with the knife said slowly. Is it for Uranus? Hearing his words, Air was slightly startled. Advertisement. Uranus's historical text, they just gathered them a few days ago to get the position of the final indicator. The news about Uranus is known only to the members of the Rox regiment. How did the 5 elders know that their Rox were looking for Uranus? The old man with the knife saw that Air did not speak, and continued to test. Really? The purpose of coming to the Holy Land Mariejois is related to Uranus, 35. Although Air didn't know how the 5 elders knew they were looking for Uranus, he was still going to keep playing stupid. Uranus is an ancient weapon. I don't think it is, in Holy Land Mariejois. Uranus really isn't in the Holy Land Mariejois, but, isn't this place important for you to find Uranus? Hearing the affirmative words of the old man with the knife, Air raised his brows and asked in a cold voice, is the Rox group set up by you as a ghost? That's not true, it's just a guess. The old man with the knife shook his head slightly and said lightly. Tisk. Did you guess it? As expected of a monster that has survived for hundreds of years. Whether it is Xing or thinking ability, it is absolutely beyond what people can imagine. But then again, your Rox group really didn't take us seriously. You dared to appear in our territory. Originally, I was worried that I couldn't get rid of you, but today I have this opportunity. Air's talent and abilities even felt threatened by the 5 elders. Air's battle with Garp has made them aware of Air's threat since long ago. Later, in the Battle of Hive Island, Air killed 1 admiral with 1 person against 2 top forces. The 5 elders put Air on the dead list. However, due to Marine's incompetence, Air could not be taken down. But today, the old man with the knife does not believe that Air can escape in his own hands. Lord 5 elders, leave this opponent to us. Such a man is not worth your own shot. The captain of the CPO organization said respectfully. 5 elders, but they are the most respected men in the world government and hold supreme power. If the Rox came, it would be worth the 5 elders. But Air alone, in the opinion of the captain of the CPO organization, is not qualified enough for the 5 elders to do it himself. Don't let me down, Darrows, the old man with the knife said lightly. It's not clear to him yet whether Air can use the abilities he used in the Battle of the Hive. So let Darrows, the captain of the CPO organization, test Air. Advertisement. If Air can use the power of the Hive Island battle, he will consider taking it down. But if he can't, he also feels that the current Air alone is not worth his shot. Yes, Lord 5 elders. When Darrows heard this, he slowly stood up, his eyes full of murderous intent, and stared at Air. Aren't you going to do it? Air asked secretly. This move by the 5 elders was exactly what Air was happy to see. In a 1-2 match, Air has no chance of winning. But Air still thinks he can't lose if it's just against Darrows. At the same time, he can also fight with Darrows, make as much noise as possible. Attract all 4 of Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, and Kaido over here. As long as these 4 come over, even in the face of monsters like the 5 elders, Air doesn't think he will lose. Let me see what kind of strength the cadres of the Rox regiment have. 35. Darros's blade was wrapped in a thick layer of armament hockey, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. Tread. The next second, his footsteps exploded, approaching air at an extremely swift, ghostly speed. The speed was so fast that a gust of wind whistled across the ground. When Deros's blade collided with Air's Demon Slayer 4.3, and a terrifying wave of air swept across all directions. Not bad power, but that's all, Deros grinned. Dang dang dang. The blades of the two collided continuously, causing waves of ripples. Between swords, lights, swords and shadows, the blades of the two have collided countless times, sparks splashed everywhere, and a terrifying aura emerged from the two of them. As the captain of the CPO organization, Deros is the strongest shield for the celestial dragons. Experienced countless battles, accumulated strong combat experience and hard power. The training of the two-color hockey has also been consummately accomplished. Even Air was under enormous pressure in the face of Deros's continuous offensive. Chapter 112. You Demons, Phoenix, Devil Fruit, Dang Dang, 39. Crackling. As the two of them swung their knives faster and faster, countless knives, lights, swords and shadows flashed across the space. Kill the ghost. Air slammed backwards, wrapped a layer of Conqueror's hockey from the blade, and his aura skyrocketed, like a god of war. The next second, he held the Demon Slayer and charged directly towards Deros. And Deros was not afraid at all, and also rushed towards Air. Boom. It was another collision between the blades, but the force generated by this collision. There was even a gust of wind whistling all over the sky. The ground plane under his feet was directly shattered by the strength of the two of them, the sand and gravel flew into the air, and the ground plane was fragile like a piece of paper. Master has the power of Conqueror's entanglement, as expected of the man known as the most talented monster in the Rox group. The old man with the knife changed his face slightly and said solemnly. He could clearly feel the violent force that Air's blade conveyed. That's the power of the Conqueror's entanglement. Conqueror's hockey, although relatively tasteless in the beginning, can only be used to deter minions. However, once the master gets the Conqueror's entanglement, the power of the Tyrant 03 will undergo a qualitative change. Because, the power of Conqueror's entanglement is even more terrifying than armament hockey's advanced stage, emission hockey. Deros, originally, was able to suppress Air slightly. However, after Air used the power of Conqueror's coil, no matter how violent Deros's power was, he still couldn't suppress Air. Because between the two of them, there is a difference in the power of Conqueror's entanglement. Is the Conqueror's entanglement? This guy has mastered this kind of power? 35. The cadre of the Rox group is really not a simple role. Although it's not easy, but, if you want to defeat Captain Deros, his strength is still not qualified, 35. That's right, no matter how talented he is destined to fall in this holy place today Mariejois, 99. Members of the CPO organization while watching and discussing. Although, they did have some surprises. Advertisement. At his age, Air has mastered the most terrifying power in Conqueror's hockey, Conqueror's entanglement. However, in their opinion, no matter what kind of talent Air has, what kind of ability. In front of Deros, it is not enough to see. Even if Deros can't take Air, don't forget, there are 5 elders by your side. Your strength did not disappoint me, it seems that I can play with you today. Deros was not surprised when he noticed that Air had used the power of Conqueror's entanglement, but put a smile on his face. Call. The next second, blue flames appeared on Deros's body, and a pair of blue wings grew from his back. You demons Phoenix Devil Fruit? Air was slightly startled, and looked at Deros in surprise. Blue flames, and blue wings, made Air sure. The devil fruit that Deros eats in front of him is the rarest Eudemon's devil fruit in this sea. In the future, this devil fruit was taken by Marco. However, the current Marco is probably just a child, and naturally he has not eaten this devil fruit. It seems that you know the goods very well too. This devil fruit is the devil fruit of the Phantom Phoenix, Deros grinned. Celestial dragons, as the richest nobles in the world, naturally collected a lot of powerful devil fruit. And Deros, as the captain of the CPO organization, is the strongest shield for the celestial dragons. Naturally, celestial dragons also rewarded the Eudemon's devil fruit to enhance his strength. After Deros used the devil fruit ability, he wrapped a layer of extremely high temperature blue flames directly on the blade. The Phoenix devil fruit has no temperature when it is used in the initial stage. However, after the continuous development of Deros, this devil fruit not only has strong resilience, but also terrifying high temperature. In the original book, Marco used the ability of the Phoenix devil fruit to burn Charlotte Linlin's Prometheus. Let's continue. The words fell, and Deros once again launched a more violent and powerful attack towards Air. Since the blue flames wrapped around the blade, his swordsmanship became extremely fierce. And, it's extremely scorching. Even Air had to wrap his arms in a thick layer of armament hockey to defend against the blue flames of Deros.
Advertisement: the battle between the two quickly entered a white-hot stage. In a short period of time, it can almost be said that no one can do anything to anyone. When it comes to the accomplishments of Conqueror's hockey, Air is above Darrow's. Because he has Conqueror's entanglement that Darrow's does not have. However, in terms of combat experience, Air is still a bit worse than Darrow's. As for hard power, Air is weaker than Darrow's without using Kurama's power. However, because of the strength of the Conqueror's entanglement and the strength of Darrow's, it is not much ahead of Air. For such a short period of time, the two were at a stalemate. Dang dang dang. The offensive of the two became more and more ferocious, with murderous intentions everywhere. During the engagement, Air always launched observation hockey, in order to find the flaw in Darrow's. After hundreds of rounds of confrontation, he finally noticed a flaw in the opponent. Shoo. Air evaded Darrow's knife first, then slashed across with the power of the armed Conquerors wrapped around the blade after 720. Ha ha ha. You've been fooled, Air, Darrow's laughed. He probably sold Air a loophole and let it attack him. Because the devil fruit he ate was an Eudemon's type with extremely strong resilience. It's okay to be cut. Shush. At the moment when Air's blade slashed at Darrow's also quickly turned the attack and slashed at Air. Zitza. At the same time, the two people's abdomens infiltrated blood outwards, and their bodies flew backwards at the same time. This guy, although his talent is monster enough, his strength is still a lot worse than that of Captain Darrow's. Yeah, the devil fruit that Captain Darrow's eats is an Eudemon's type with extremely strong resilience. Even if he is slashed by him, it's fine, but if this guy is slashed by Captain Darrow's, I'm afraid he will be hurt. Light. It seems that even without the intervention of Lord Five Elders, a single bottle of Captain Darrow's is enough to take down Air. The members of the CPO organization on the sidelines saw that Air and Darrow's slashed each other for injuries. Everyone thinks that the outcome of this battle can already be determined in advance. Because of the battle between the strong, as long as one side is traumatized in advance, the outcome is likely to be defined. Chapter 113 Air vs 5 Elders. But before they were happy for long, a member of the CPO organization pointed at Air and shouted in surprise. He's back from his injuries. Hearing his reminder, everyone hurriedly looked in the direction of Air. It can be seen that the clothes on Air's abdomen have been cut by Darrow's knife. But there is no wound on the body. On the other hand, Darrow's, although he ate the devil fruit, the most resilient phantom beast in the world. But Air's demon-slaying blade was entwined with armed color and Conqueror's hockey. These two forces have already cut into Darrow's body. Even the Phoenix devil fruit can't fully recover in a very short period of time. How is it possible that his resilience is stronger than Captain Darrow's, 35? What a joke, the Eudemons with the strongest resilience actually lost to this guy. What devil fruit did he eat? How can the resilience be so strong, 99? Seeing the scene in front of them, many members of the CPO organization were stunned. No one would have thought of it. Air's physical recovery power is even stronger than that of the Phantom Phoenix devil fruit. Is it true that the devil fruit you eat is also about resilience? Darrow's asked in a deep voice with a cold expression. According to his knowledge of devil fruit, it stands to reason that there won't be any devil fruit's resilience above the Phoenix. But today, his view has been changed, because he saw with his own eyes that Air's wound immediately recovered as before. Not even a single scar was left. This recovery speed is even faster and stronger than his. Do I have to tell you this kind of thing? Air said calmly. Sure enough, I still underestimate you. You are indeed a qualified opponent, Darrow's snorted coldly. Just as Darrow's wanted to continue his attack on Air, the old man with the knife on the other side said, It's all right, Darrow's. When Air used Conquerors, he was a little surprised. Advertisement now, Air has shown him great resilience again. Both Air and Darrow's are extremely resilient. So this battle, even if the winner is to be determined, it will take a long time. And he, without much patience, has been watching the battle by the side. Since this battle has not been decided for a long time, then, he needs to take action himself. Lord Five Elders, the battle between me and him is not over yet. Give me a little more time, and I will defeat him, Darrow's hurriedly said when he saw that the knife-wielding old man had the idea of making a move. No need, such an opponent, let me come personally. Choke. The words fell, and the old man with the knife directly pulled out the blade from his waist. His knife is the first-generation ghost who is one of the 12 master swordsmen. This knife is the most ferocious and strongest demon knife in the world. The moment the knife was drawn, the first-generation ghost was wrapped in a layer of ghostly visible to the naked eye. Ghost chi, which can be considered the murderous aura displayed on the sword, is the same as hockey, but not exactly the same. The principle of ghost chi is to release powerful killing intent and make the opponent hallucinate. However, the ghostly energy released by the knife-wielding old man to the first generation's ghostly master is extremely clearly visible.
The intensity and conspicuousness of ghosts are much stronger than Zoro. Damn. 35 Seeing that the old man with the knife also planned to intervene, Air felt bad. What the hell, I've been with Darrows for so long. With so much buzz in the Holy Land Mariejois, why haven't the bastards from the Golden Lion come? Air didn't think about beating him when he fought Darrows. Instead, they tried to create enough momentum to attract the Golden Lion and the others. But seeing that the old man with the knife was about to start, there was no trace of Golden Lion and others on this battlefield. After the knife-wielding old man pulled out the first-generation ghost, he didn't say any nonsense with Air, and rushed towards him directly. Facing the attack of the old man with the knife, Air didn't dare to be careless, and kept his spirits high. Holding the Demon Slayer tightly with both hands, he poured all his haki and power into the Demon Slayer. Advertisement after the Demon Slayer absorbed enough haki power, the blade exuded an astonishing cold light. When the knife tips of the two collided in an instant, it was as if a bomb had been dropped on the scene. Immediately, a terrifying momentum was raised, and the violent fluctuations caused by the clash of blades made the huge Holy Land Mariejois tremble. A terrifying pressure instantly enveloped Air. The strength of the sword-wielding old man and his swordsmanship are far beyond Air's imagination. In the confrontation between Air and the knife-wielding old man, he felt a sense of oppression comparable to that of Rox. At your age, master with such strength is really good, but it's a pity that you are the enemy of the world government. What awaits you today is only the end of your demise, the old man with the knife said slowly. Really, I don't think I'll die here, Air snorted coldly while struggling to resist. He. I've seen too many arrogant brats like you, although they never possessed your talent, but in my opinion, you are all dead souls under my sword. The words fell, and the old man with the knife rose sharply, and was about to launch a violent attack on Air. Suddenly there was a voice in the air. Slashwave. As this sound fell, a sword chi that pierced the sky and carried thousands of powers attacked the old man with the sword in a way that overwhelmed the mountains and destroyed everything. Kaka, Zhao Lao's, Kaka. The ground plane in front of Air was directly cut across a terrifying gap by this sword energy. But the figure of the old man with the knife still disappeared. Shiki, you came in time. Air glanced at the figure in the sky and sighed. Jia ha. Air, you were too embarrassed, how could you be beaten by an old man? Golden Lion laughed with a cigar in his mouth. Old man? Hearing Golden Lion's words, Air was startled. What's so special? What is in front of you is the five elders, the highest leader of the world government and one of the highest rulers. Air is not surprised, however, that the Golden Lion doesn't think the five elders are. After all, such a respected old man would never be sentenced in news magazines. And the Golden Lion, although he has heard the name of the five elders, has never seen it with his own eyes. This is the first time. Chapter 114. The Golden Lion who was pitted. Shiki. The old man with the knife fell in the distance, looking at the Golden Lion in the sky with a dull expression. It seems that Laozi's name has already spread to the Holy Land Mariejois. 33 Golden Lion grinned. No matter how many people come today, the old man will execute you personally, the old man with the knife said calmly. The current knife-wielding old man does not know how many Rox members have come to the Holy Land Mariejois. But he is not afraid of it. He has great confidence in his own strength, even in the face of the entire Rox group, he has no plans to back down. Jia ha. What an arrogant old man. Golden Lion laughed disdainfully. Shiki, I'll leave this old man to you, I'll deal with this guy, Air said. He had already felt the strength of the old man with the knife. This level of combat power is definitely not something he can compete with now. One-on-one, he can almost be said to have no chance of winning. But now, since the Golden Lion has arrived, it is up to the Golden Lion to deal with the old man with the knife. And he went to deal with the captain of the CPO organization, Darrows. Air, are you trying to hide your strength? How come you can't even beat a mere old man? Golden Lion asked suspiciously. The Golden Lion had seen Air and the Rox go toe-to-toe before. Knowing how terrible Air's strength is now, but I just saw that Air was beaten by a nameless old man. His first thought was that Air was releasing water and hiding 720 force. It's not that I can't beat him, I just want you to beat Shiki. Air said with a slightly raised corner of his mouth. No matter what, let's get rid of them as soon as possible. Air, because of the pointer of the Valley of the Gods, I already have it. Golden Lion took out an eternal pointer from his pocket and smiled. While Air was fighting Darrows, the Golden Lion was looking for the eternal pointer in the Valley of the Gods. It is precisely because he has found the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. That's why he planned to find other people to join and leave here. And just in time, I felt the momentum here, and rushed towards this side. Ha. The eternal pointer of the Valley of God? So you entered the holy place of Mariejois in order to find this. 35. Hearing the words of Golden Lion, the old man with the knife suddenly realized and laughed. Originally, he just guessed that the Holy Land Mariejois has what the Rox want. But it's not clear what it is, but now Golden Lion's words have let him know everything. Uranus is buried in the Valley of the Gods. The Rox group and others stepped into the Holy Land of Mariejois in order to find the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. Shiki, you guy. You're really stupid, Air couldn't help but frowned. So what if they're heard? As long as they're all killed, no one will know, Golden Lion said calmly. Advertisement. Want to kill me? You can try. The knife-wielding old man held Goosh in both hands, exuding a strong killing intent, staring at the Golden Lion. Is the supremely fast knife so dreadful? Golden Lion frowned when he saw the old man's knife. As a great swordsman, the Golden Lion has naturally seen the swordsmanship of the supreme great sword. So at a glance, I recognized that the knife in the hand of the old man was the first-generation ghost of the Supreme Knife 21. He originally thought that the old man with the knife was just a simple character. But after seeing the ghosts of first generation, he felt that what was in front of him should not be a simple character. Who is this old man, Air? It's just a small role, I'll leave it to you, Shiki, Air said calmly. He was afraid that the old thief Golden Lion would simply abandon him after he got the news that his opponent was the Five Elders. Therefore, the identity of the Five Elders was concealed, so that the Golden Lion could play against the Five Elders with confidence. Little character, are you sure, Air? If it is said, the Golden Lion did not see the ghost of the first generation in the hands of the old man with the knife. Air says he's a minor character, he might believe it, but now he's dubious. Why Shiki, are you afraid? Jia ha ha ha, Lousy has never been afraid. Hearing Air's words, Golden Lion immediately laughed. Today, none of you want to leave alive, Holy Land Mariejois, the old man with the knife said coldly. It's just you, Golden Lion said disdainfully, although, added, the old man in front of him, holding the supreme sword, really surprised him. But that's not enough to frighten him. The words fell, and Golden Lion charged with Sakura and Kiku directly towards him. The old man with the knife was not afraid at all, and the ghost was wrapped in a thick layer of armament haki, and charged directly towards the Golden Lion. His speed was extremely fast, and even crossed a ghostly afterimage on the ground. So fast. Seeing this scene, Golden Lion's pupils contracted violently. He quickly held the two blades in his hand firmly in his hand, and also wrapped a layer of armament haki. When the old man with the knife rose into the air, waved the blade, and collided with the Golden Lion that was attacking in midair. A deafening vibrato came, and a violent explosion sounded throughout the air. A terrifying sense of oppression instantly enveloped Golden Lion. Feeling the amazing power transmitted from the old man with the knife, Golden Lion's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Advertisement, so strong. Only now did he know that he had been tricked. What a very simple role. Can this power be a simple character? Dang dang. 39 The blades of the two quickly collided. Between swords, lights, swords and shadows, the two have collided dozens of times. But, even though Golden Lion is a double swordsman, he has a superb swordsmanship. And the tough two-tone haki. But in the face of the fierce and dangerous swordsmanship of the old man with the sword, he was beaten and retreated step by step. The longer the two fought, the more the Golden Lion hated Air. What's the matter? I knew I wouldn't be here. How did you meet such a monster? In the face of the old man with the sword, there are countless, superb swordsmanship attacks. At this time, the Golden Lion could only wrap his body with a thick layer of armament haki for defense, and did not dare to attack at all. Do you only have this strength, Shiki, the cadre of the Rox regiment? The old man with the knife said coldly. The words fell, and the old man with the knife raised the knife and dropped it, directly slashing, and looked towards Golden Lion's chest. Oops. Golden Lion's complexion changed greatly, although he really wanted to use his dual swords for defense at this time. But no matter what, the swordsmanship of the old man with the sword was too fast, and he couldn't use the double sword to make a defensive action at the first time. Zitsa. The old man with the knife slashed, and the figure of Golden Lion flew backwards. There is a hideous knife mark on the chest, which is seeping blood outward. Fortunately, the Golden Lion has been in a state of full-body armament haki defense. Although this knife did not hurt him lightly, it did not cause him serious damage. Damn, it's much stronger than I thought. Golden Lion was surprised and roared in anger. The first blow of the collision just now made him realize the extraordinariness of the old man. But as the offensive continued, and now he was hit hard, he was already a little messy. Because the strength of the old man is completely beyond his imagination. Who the hell is this guy Air? Seeing that the Golden Lion had been targeted by the Five Elders, it was absolutely impossible to escape, so Air did not continue to conceal the identity of the old man with the knife, and responded truthfully. Five Elders.
Chapter 115 Complete Tail Beast Transformation Parts, please complete order. What? Hearing Air's words, Golden Lion's face changed dramatically. Holy crap, the top leader of the world government 5 elders? I said that Air can't beat this B***************** D just now, it turned out to be such a dangerous person. Damn it, I was tricked by Air. If the Golden Lion knew the identity of the 5 elders as soon as they arrived on this battlefield, then the Golden Lion will definitely find a way to escape. Even if he can't escape, his opponent can only be the leader of the CPO organization, Daros. Because at that time Air had been targeted by the 5 elders. The 5 elders would not have chosen to switch opponents if not for other reasons. But because Golden Lion was tricked by Air, he took the initiative to attack the 5 elders. This allowed the 5 elders to switch opponents and see the Golden Lion as their enemy. It can be said that the Golden Lion was severely pitted by Air. Air, you despicable B***********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************
I'm sure you can hold him back, Shiki. Damn, why didn't you stop him? It's useless to talk so much now, didn't you realize he's been eyeing you? Air said calmly. The 5 elders value Air more than the Golden Lion. But now that the two have fought each other, the 5 elders have taken the lead to get rid of the Golden Lion. Then address Air's idea. Whole. Golden Lion's face was gloomy, and before he could say anything more, the 5 elders attacked again, and he could only continue to fight. Then let's go on, Darrows. Air set his eyes on Darrows in front of him. Do you think I would be afraid of you? Darrows snorted coldly. Complete tailed beast form. Air snorted softly, and in the next second, a rich golden light appeared all over his body. Kurama's power continued to pour into his body, and the surrounding nature power was also absorbed by him. I saw an extremely rich golden flash completely enveloped him. Then a huge body, golden light all over the body, with amazing momentum, covering the sky and the sun, a huge tailed beast with 9 tails behind it appeared in front of everyone. Advertisement completely tailed beast form, it is the complete release of Kurama. Air is very clear that Darrow's strength is not bad, if you want to defeat such a man, you must use his true skills. With the appearance of the complete tailed beast, the terrifying sense of oppression directly enveloped the entire holy land of Mariejois. This. What kind of monster is this? What a horrible sense of oppression. This guy. Is it possible that he was eating the devil fruit of the Eudemon's type? According to our master's information, Air used a monster with a red light all over his body during the Battle of Hive Island. How come it has turned into a golden light now? Could it be that this guy's devil fruit ability has evolved? The Battle of the Hive Island was enough to shock the world, but the news was blocked by Marine. However, Marine also disclosed Air's information within the headquarters. And their CP organization has naturally mastered all the news of Air so far. According to Marine's report at the time, what Air released was a giant beast with a red glow and 6 tails behind it. Now it has turned into a giant beast with 9 tails behind it with golden light all over its body. In full beast form, Air can use the full power of Kurama. What's more, Air had previously unlocked the chakra power of 1 to 7 tails, all of which were poured into Kurama's body. This puts Air into a fully tailed beast, able to use 1 to 7 tails, and the full chakra power of 9 tails at the same time. Air, you be **************** D. Did you really hide your strength in the confrontation with Captain Rox? Get rid of that guy quickly and help me, 99. When Golden Lion saw this scene, he was stunned for a moment, and when he reacted, he hurriedly shouted. Feel the power delivered by Air in his full-tailed beast form. Golden Lion knows that Air in this form is very powerful. Interesting devil fruit ability. It seems that I can't kill you today, but the information of devil fruit will come out of your mouth, the old man with the knife said with a gloomy expression. He did it himself this time, originally to get rid of the rocks. Then, from their mouths, the purpose of coming to the Holy Land Mariejois was obtained. However, when Golden Lion arrived at the scene, he announced that he had obtained the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. Now he has figured out the purpose of the Rox Regiment, coming to the Holy Land Mariejois. The plan was to directly destroy all the Rox group. But now it seems that it is necessary to defeat the Golden Lion first, and then capture Air alive to force the Devil Fruit's secret. 0. Ask for flowers. It's just a little trick of carving insects. The Devil Fruit can be turned into a mere ability, and I can also do this kind of thing. Darrows put the blade back into the scabbard. Advertisement. In the next second, more flickering blue flames appeared all over his body. The body has completely entered into the ability, and turned into a huge blue firebird. Darrows flew straight towards Air, ready to attack it. You guy, your head is really iron, Air sneered. Then, with a thought, he manipulated Kurama's fist and slammed it towards Darrows. Darrows is also completely true, flying up, preparing to resist the blow with his claws. Boom! Two terrifying forces collided, and the ground was torn apart by a large margin. The space was slightly distorted by the shock. The body of the two exudes the power of ultimate terror, spreading in all directions. Deros's phoenix fruit is indeed very strong, after all, it is of the phantom beast type. But this devil fruit, the biggest ability is resilience. In terms of power, compared to Kurama, who is completely tailed beast, it is still a lot worse. The offensive confrontation between the two was only half a point. Air directly blasted his body into the ground with the power to suppress Deros. Boom! There was a loud noise, and a large pit appeared directly on the ground, and the surrounding ground plane was full of cracks. The huge force of the complete tail animal transformation directly made the huge Holy Land Mariejois tremble with a single blow. So strong! This guy's ability has completely suppressed Captain Deros. Damn, not only does the resilience surpass Captain Deros, since even the power is so terrifying? Devil fruit is powerful, but they all have flaws, but this guy's ability, why do I feel that there is no flaw at all? The Eudemon's devil fruit is the rarest and most powerful devil fruit in this world. Every Eudemon's devil fruit possesses extraordinary abilities. However, it is not invincible. There are only a few attributes, which are extremely top. For example, the Phoenix fruit of Deros, it has extremely top resilience and burning ability. With these 2 points alone, this devil fruit has been lifted to a very high level. Beg. Chapter 116 Whitebeard, Linlin, Kaido arrive on the battlefield. But other than that, there are no advantages, but Air's ability. Not only has the resilience beyond the Phoenix, but also has the power and momentum to suppress the Phoenix. These two attributes have completely suppressed the Phoenix fruit. It's hard for them to imagine why they are both Eudemons. Air's ability completely suppressed the Phoenix? Is this really the level that Eudemons should have? Damn it, the power is stronger than I thought. 35. Deros, who was smashed to the ground, stood up and stared at Air with a gloomy expression. Although being punched hard by Air, however, because of his strong resilience, such injuries were nothing to him. I remember that there is an upper limit to the resilience of the Phoenix, but I want to see how many punches your resilience can withstand. During the Summit War, Marco had a bandage on his head, 720, after a fight. This also shows that, although the Phoenix Devil Fruit, although the recovery is extremely strong, it also has an upper limit. The words fell, and Air once again controlled Kurama's fist and swung it towards Deros. With a terrifying ability like you, the requirements for physical skills are also extremely high. I want to see how long you can maintain this state. 99. Deros snorted coldly and rushed towards Air as well. Without using his abilities, Deros can't even lose against Air's Conqueror's Twist. Now, both sides have used their abilities, but he has fallen behind. However, Deros doesn't think he will lose. After all, his advantage is his strong resilience. And since the power released by Air is so terrifying, the requirements for physical skills must be extremely high. So now he and Air are competing in taijutsu. Either the Air body technique is exhausted first, and the complete tailed beast cannot be maintained. Either his physical skills are exhausted first, and he can no longer continue to recover his injuries. Boom boom boom. In this battlefield, humming and explosions were constantly heard. Air and Deros. Golden Lion and 5 elders. The battle between these parties has already entered the white-hot stage. Everyone is fighting with all their might. Advertisement. After some time has passed. Shoo! Along with it, a terrifying blade ripped through the night sky, and astonishing power emerged from the ghost. The knife-wielding old man held Goosh in his hand and slashed down, slashing at the position of Golden Lion's chest. Boom! The Golden Lion figure flew backwards at extreme speed, and then hit the ground. It can be seen that the Golden Lion at this time has scars all over his body. After fighting for so long, the knife-wielding old man has cut a lot of knives on him. Cough cough. Golden Lion stood up with difficulty, coughing up blood. The blood had already dyed his whole body red. At this time, his hair was messy and his face was pale. Against a man like the 5 elders who stood on top of the world, it's good that he's been around for so long. You are more tenacious than I imagined, but your strength did not surprise me too much. The old man with the knife walked towards the Golden Lion step by step, and said lightly. Really? Golden Lion sneered. Lion Majesty, earth coiling. Golden Lion's palm touched the ground, accompanied by a roaring sound. Countless stones gathered and shrouded together, and then formed several huge lion heads. The lion head, huge in size, blocked the sky and directly surrounded the 5 elders. His fingers swayed slightly, and he manipulated the lion's head to attack the old man with the knife swiftly and violently. Is that the only attack before death? Said the old man with a knife in disdain. I saw that he was on top of Goosh, entwined with a strong-armed force. Call out.
In the space, a ferocious black flash struck, extremely terrifying, carrying sword energy of thousands of strengths. Tear apart the space, and cut all the lion heads in half directly with the unreasonable force of 10,000 people. At this moment, a voice came from behind the old man with the knife. Thunder 8 trigrams. The face of the old man with the knife changed slightly, and he quickly looked back. I saw Kaido at this time, holding a mace in both hands, attacking the old man with a knife with a terrifying force. Boom! The mace hit the old man with the sword heavily, and his figure flew upside down very quickly. Advertisement, Gia ha ha ha. You bastards, you are finally here, Golden Lion laughed loudly. He struggled for so long, and finally waited until the reinforcements arrived. In the dark night, Charlotte Linlin, who was standing on Zeus of the White Cloud, said indifferently. Shiki, you are so embarrassed, a mere old man beat you to zero like this. Hearing Charlotte Linlin's words, Golden Lion's expression turned gloomy to the extreme. Linlin, I said that before, it was there fighting the 5 elders, and that was the first thing he said when he got there. And then, he's been beaten up by the 5 elders. If it weren't for the timely support of Kaido and the others, and if it was delayed for a while, he might have died here. But then again, where did that guy Air go? Whitebeard asked suspiciously. Air? That B asterisk 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 D, isn't it there? Golden Lion pointed at the huge-tailed beast at the end of the horizon with a grim expression and cursed. Following the direction the Golden Lion pointed, everyone was at the end of the horizon. I saw a huge golden-tailed beast with 9 tails and a terrifying aura all over it, fighting with people. That's Air. Charlotte Linlin frowned slightly, wonderingly. He's been with the Rox for quite some time, although he's seen Air in his 6 tails form. But today, it was the first time I saw Air in full-tailed beast form. Gu la la la. This guy Air, has he developed a new ability? Whitebeard was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Charlotte Linlin stared at the huge-tailed beast and said silently for a few seconds, that may not be the newly developed ability Edward, but the evolution of Air's ability. He remembered the half-tailed beast of Air that 4.3 had seen on Hive Island earlier, with 6 tails behind him. But now, a full 9 tails. The description is that Air's ability has been evolved. Evolution. Hearing his words, Whitebeard couldn't help but stare at the huge-tailed beast for a few seconds again. This guy Air is really a real monster, Charlotte Linlin couldn't help sighing. During this time, not only Air's own body skills, Conqueror's Haki, sword skills have not been pulled down. Even Devil Fruit has been developed stronger. Charlotte Linlin is seriously skeptical while searching for historical text. Had Air been doing the Devil's training? Otherwise, how could it be possible to take into account his own physical skills, Haki, and swordsmanship? Can also develop Devil Fruit ability? Chapter 117. Unexpectedly, another 5 elders arrive at the battlefield. Are the cadres of the Rox, Edward Newgate, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido, Shiki all present? Exactly, I killed all of you today, and the Rox fell apart. The old man with the knife walked slowly to the front of the crowd and said lightly. The Rox regiment, the strongest cadre, should be Air, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido, Silver Axe, Ochaku, John, these 8 people. And now in the Holy Land Mariejois, except for Silver Axe, John, and Ochaku. The other 5 were all present. If he can get rid of these 5 people, then Marine can get rid of the Rox even if he is incompetent. Mama. Do you want to deal with the 4 of us at the same time? How arrogant. 35 Charlotte Linlin smiled contemptuously. Now Charlotte Linlin and others, although they have not grown to their peak. But the strength has also. Close to its peak. She admitted that the old man with the knife in front of her was indeed a bit capable. Can keep pressing him in a one-on-one situation with Golden Lion. However, at the scene now, they have 4 cadres fighting strength. He didn't believe it, no matter how strong the old man in front of him was, he could defeat 403 of them at the same time. This guy is not easy. He was struck by me and thundered 8 trigrams, but he was fine, Kaido said with a gloomy expression. The attack of the knife-wielding old man just now, he not only entangled armament Haki, but also exhausted all his strength. But, even so, Kaido can see that the old man with the knife is almost harmless. Who is this guy, Shiki? Whitebeard asked warily. 5 elders. Golden Lion said truthfully without hiding anything. The supreme leader of the world government, the 5 elders? Whitebeard's expression changed slightly. World government is a stronger institution above naval headquarters. And the 5 elders are the men who hold the pinnacle of power in the world government. It is impossible for a man in such a high position to say that he does not have the strength to surpass the sea. I see, no wonder this guy is so arrogant. Hearing Golden Lion's words, Charlotte Linlin's face was also solemn. So what, the 4 of us are still afraid of him? Kaido snorted coldly.
although he knew that the strength of the 5 elders in front of him must be extremely pervert. But, you know, there are 4 of them, and there is only one old man with a knife in front of him, and there is no helper. Advertisement, Mamama also said, when the 4 of us join forces, no one in this world can defeat us. Come together. Golden Lion said. The words fell, and the 4 attacked the old man with the knife at the same time. The knife-wielding old man, facing the 4 cadres of the Rox regiment, was not arrogant at all, and rushed forward directly. There was a fierce confrontation with it. Meanwhile, on the other side, Air and Darrows. Tisk, devil fruit, the phoenix is really tenacious. Air stared at Darrows condescendingly and raised his brows slightly. He has launched countless offensives against Darrows. In the face of his repeated attacks, Darrows couldn't bear it at all. However, he is also difficult to hit hard, as well as kill Darrows. Because no matter how serious the injury he caused, it won't take long for him to recover. The title of the strongest recovery of the Phoenix Devil Fruit is indeed well deserved. However, it is worth mentioning. Darrow's physical skills are too strong, so he can use the Devil Fruit ability to recover from injuries without interruption. As the captain of the CPO organization and the strongest shield of celestial dragons, Darrow's strength did not disappoint Air. Damn, my stamina is almost exhausted. Darrows stared at Air with a grim expression on his face, thinking inwardly. The resilience of the Phoenix Devil Fruit is indeed strong, but it also consumes a lot of stamina. After a long, uninterrupted recovery from his injuries, his physical strength was almost bottomed out. However, Darrows also guessed at this time. Air entered the full-tailed beast form for a long time, and his physical strength must have been hollowed out. In this battle, whose physical strength will be exhausted first? Who will lose? And he doesn't think that his physical skills are weaker than Air. Thinking of this, he attacked Air again. Air is also true, using his whole body to mobilize the power of chakra, the tailed beast of 7 tails, and pour it all into Kurama's punch. Advertisement, boom. 35. It was another earth-shattering blow, and the 2 fists collided. The ground was torn apart. A white energy ball visible to the naked eye quickly spread around the 2 people, and then exploded. The offensive of the 2 only collided for half a minute, and Darrow's body flew out like a bullet. It hit the ground hard. Immediately, a large pit was smashed, and black smoke and dust filled the sky. As the smoke and dust slowly dissipated, members of many CPO organizations could see it. Darrows was already lying in the deep pit, and the blue flames on his body still disappeared. And the serious injuries on his body have not recovered. Darrow's stamina. He's almost completely exhausted, and now he doesn't even have the physical strength to recover from his injuries. Captain Darrows. No, Captain Darrows has exhausted 720 of his stamina and can't recover from his injuries. Damn it, this guy is too strong. He has maintained this form for so long, and his stamina is still not exhausted. 35. Quick, go protect Captain Darrows, or you will be killed by Air. Seeing the scene in front of them, many members of the CPO organization were stunned for a moment, and quickly shouted. Darrow's current physical strength is no longer enough to use the Phoenix Devil Fruit. Even Hockey is still depleted. At this time, if Air continues to attack, Darrows will die. It's really embarrassing. Darrows, did you lose against a cadre of the Rox regiment? Many members of the CPO organization rushed towards Air, preparing to protect Darrows. I saw an old man wearing a black suit, with a long white beard and long straight white hair, approaching this side. I saw a figure slowly approaching from a distance. Hearing this voice, many members of the CPO organization were stunned and stopped, and Air also looked at the source of the voice. Air shines through subtle light. In this quiet area, a crisp, loud footstep sounded. Tread, 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 and just at this moment, in the area covered with dark clouds and almost invisible, a voice came. Chapter 118 Evacuation from the Holy Land Mariejois. Lord 5 Elders. After seeing the visitor, the members of the CPO organization immediately knelt down on one knee. Alarmed another 5 elders? Air's pupils shrank slightly, and the secret passage was not good. The strength of the 5 elders, he had already felt in the brief encounter with the knife-wielding elders. That kind of combat power, strong and outrageous. And the long straight-haired old man who is also the 5 elders is definitely not inferior to the old knife-wielding old man. The long straight-haired old man came to Darrows, looked at him lightly, and said disappointedly. The government is very satisfied with you, and even fed you the Eudemon's devil fruit. Are you just repaying us with such an ending? 99. Lord 5 Elders, I haven't lost yet. Darrows stood up with difficulty and said. No defeat. Now you can't even recover from your injury. Your performance today disappoints me, Darrows. Darrows, the leader of the CPO organization, is one of the top powerhouses for the Holy Land Mariejois. For such a man, the 5 elders are also particularly valued. However,
Durosa's performance today made the old man with long straight hair extremely disappointed. Facing the words of the five elders, Daros could not raise any reason to refute, and lowered his head and said helplessly, "I'm sorry, Lord Five Elders, for not living up to your expectations, but this guy is a monster." What Daros said, he was also a strong practitioner who mainly practiced physique. Even cultivating physical skills takes more time than cultivating swordsmanship. But, even so, in the physical competition with air, he was completely at a disadvantage. "Monster? There is no monster in front of me," the long straight-haired old man said coldly. "Sorry, Lord Five Elders." In front of the five elders, Daros was like a child who had made a mistake, completely daring to refute his words. "Let's go, this opponent will be handed over to me." "Yes." Hearing his words, other members of the CPO organization hurriedly came to Daros and helped him aside. If the five elders had not arrived in time today, Daros would have died here. "Air? Interesting, in the information we collected, we never heard that you can still use such abilities. Is Devil Fruit developed again?" Advertisement. The long-haired old man used observation hockey and saw Air, who was standing on Kurama's forehead, and asked. Air ignored the words of the old man with long straight hair, but secretly said in his heart, "Looks like an escape is needed. The purpose of their step into the Holy Land Mariejois today is to find the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. And Golden Lion has also got the eternal pointer. So, Air didn't want to stay in this dangerous place anymore. After all, the five elders are not just one or two, but five." With the idea of running away, Air quickly rushed in the direction of Whitebeard. "Want to escape? But this place is your burial place?" The old man with long straight hair followed closely behind, chasing after Air. On the other side, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, and Kaido teamed up to attack the old man with a knife. BWGB, B. But, even if the four of them join forces to deal with the old man with the knife alone, it's just got the upper hand, but it's hard to hurt him. "Damn, this guy's strength is stronger than I thought," Kaido said gloomily. Before the confrontation, Kaido knew that the old man in front of him must be an extremely difficult monster. But after the fight, he realized just how terrifying the monster in front of him was. Although this guy is old, he is a real monster. Whitebeard couldn't help but sigh. Even when he fought Marine Admiral Kong on Hive Island that year, it didn't make Whitebeard so weak. I have to say, the old man with a knife at the peak of Master World government power. Sure enough, it has the terrifying power of the ocean. "Shiki, you bastards are holding us back," Charlotte Linlin snarled. Although it was said to be 4-on-1, the Golden Lion had been paddling on the sidelines, showing off his abilities or something. Not going head-to-head with the five elders at all. This also prevents them from gaining too much upper hand. "If I get slashed by him a few more times, I will die here as Linlin." Golden Lion glanced at him and said coldly. Before Charlotte Linlin hit the field, he played the five elders many times. Advertisement. Now, he has countless injuries on his body. Therefore, he did not dare to confront the old man with the knife head on. Because it's about his life. "You be asterisk 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 D. I knew I couldn't come to save you, so I retreated," Charlotte Linlin said with a displeased expression. "I advise you to give up this idea. Linlin, the eternal pointer of the Valley of God is in my hands. If you don't save me, you will be considered a failure in this mission. Compared with the task, I am more concerned about my life. Instead of arguing over there, think about it and solve this guy so quickly." Whitebeard came to the center of the two and reminded. The words fell, and Air's shout came not far away. "Edward, Shiki, Linlin, Kaido." The four of them heard the sound and looked around, only to see a huge-tailed beast rushing towards this side. "Air? Gia ha ha ha. This guy Air seems to have taken care of his opponent, so we are 5 against 1. Seeing Air rushing towards this side, Golden Lion burst into laughter. Although 4-on-1 has a slight upper hand, it cannot injure the old man with the knife at all. But, if Air also joins the battle, 5-on-1, they can definitely solve this battle quickly. "Wait a minute, there seems to be someone behind Air," Kaido reminded with narrowed eyes. Zhao Lao's Kaido noticed that behind Air was an old man with long straight hair in a black suit. Able to run after Air and still an old man, isn't that what five elders are? The speed of this ultimate makes Kaido understand at a glance that the old man behind Air is not a simple character. Not to be beaten like this. Another old man? Could it be another five elders? Charlotte Linlin's pupils contracted violently, feeling bad. Golden Lion hates Air today. If it weren't for Air, he wouldn't have suffered such a big crime today, confronting the five elders. Gu la la la. Air, you really brought us another amazing character. And the speed is extremely fast, closely following behind Air. Damn, Air. This B asterisk 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 D.
actually pulled another 5 elders here. Golden Lion's expression changed greatly, and he couldn't help scolding. Chapter 119 5-Person Joint Skills, Repelling the 5 Elders. It's time to retreat. Air quickly came to a few people and reminded him. Now, 2 5 elders have appeared, and if they continue to fight, it will take longer. Then wait until the other 3 5 elders show up too. No matter how talented they are, they can't escape from the Holy Land Mariejois at all. Retreat. We can't retreat now, Air. Don't forget the mission given by Captain Rox. We haven't found the eternal pointer of the Valley of God. Charlotte Linlin shook her head slightly. The eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods? Didn't Shiki find this thing long ago? Air asked with doubts. Hearing Air's words, Golden Lion was stunned for a moment, then glanced at the eternal pointer in his arms and laughed. Gia ha ha ha. If you don't say anything, I will forget Air, but I have found the eternal pointer of the Valley of God, and there is really no need to stay in this place. Originally, he had found the eternal pointer earlier and planned to find other people to join and leave. However, Air was found first, and then he was targeted by the 5 elders. At that time, he couldn't escape even if he wanted to. However, with the support of Whitebeard, Charlotte Linlin, and Kaido, they can actually retreat. But, because the enemy was right in front of him, he didn't think about retreating for the time being. Now, after Air's reminder, he did know that it was time to retreat. Have you found the eternal pointer? Kaido asked, frowning slightly. Yes. Golden Lion took out the eternal pointer of the Valley of God 720 and presented it in front of everyone. Shiki, you be ***************** D. Get the news about finding the eternal pointer sooner. Charlotte Linlin scolded. They're here to assist the Golden Lion in fighting the 5 elders. It is to find the eternal pointer after defeating the 5 elders. But now that the Golden Lions have found the eternal pointer, why are they still here? You didn't ask. Golden Lion shrugged. Why don't you tell me without asking? Our mission this time is just to find the eternal pointer. Now that you have found it, you have delayed us for so long. Shiki, you are a complete idiot. Okay. The 2 of you, instead of arguing there, let's think about how to retreat. Whitebeard interrupted the quarrel between the 2 and reminded. If the opponent was just a 5 elders, they could have easily escaped. But, now there are 2 5 elders, moreover, they have a lot of killing intent towards them. It is not an easy task for Whitebeard to escape now. Retreat? Do you think you can escape alive today? The old man with the knife sneered. Advertisement, incompetent marine, didn't do anything to wipe you out, but do you think can escape from our hands? The long straight-haired old man put his hands on his back and said slowly. The 2 5 elders stood together, staring at the 5 with a strong killing intent in their eyes. Although it's a little troublesome, but, with just the 2 of you, we can still escape, Air said calmly. As for whether the 5 together can defeat the 2 5 elders, Air still wasn't sure, but when it comes to escaping from the hands of the 2, Air still has great confidence. Arrogant kid, you can try, the old man with the knife said with disdain. Really confident words, but I want to see how you can escape from us, the 35-year-old man with straight hair said coldly. Do you have any plans, Air? Whitebeard asked. It doesn't need any plan, it just needs the 5 of us to join forces to repel them, and then choose to retreat directly, Air said lightly. Will the 5 join forces? We can give it a try, Whitebeard nodded. Shiki, don't hold us back, you be ****************** D. The situation is about whether we can escape from the Holy Land Mariejois. 35 Charlotte Linlin glanced coldly at Golden Lion and warned. Gia ha ha ha. Although I don't have much stamina left, it can still be done with a full blow. Then let's go together. Air is now reluctant to stay in the Holy Land Mariejois for a moment. Because, no one knows, when the other 3 5 elders will appear. Delay for 1 more second, and their danger probability will increase by 1 point. It can be said that the level of danger in the Holy Land Mariejois today is no less than that of the Battle of the Hive Island. Tailed Beast Bomb. Air didn't hesitate to use the Tailed Beast Bomb's strongest ultimate move, Tailed Beast Bomb. You know, the current Air is in a completely tailed beast form. And inside Kurama, there is also the chakra power of 6 tails. Now releasing Tailed Beast Bomb is equivalent to releasing it directly. The combined power of 7 Tailed Beast Bombs. In Air's mouth, a group of dark purple-black balls gathered together, exuding the ultimate terrifying energy fluctuations, making the space around it distorted. The incomparably terrifying coercion bloomed from the purple-black ball. This kind of oppression made even the 2 5 elders feel a little bit of pressure. The purple-black ball in Air's mouth rapidly expanded and became larger, constantly absorbing the power in Air's body. In less than a second, the Tailed Beast Bomb is even bigger than Air's full-tailed beast form. The terrifying power, like a celestial hong, fully bloomed from the Tailed Beast Bomb. The ability of Tailed Beast Bomb can be charged for a long time. However, in this situation, air could not be given a chance to accumulate power for too long. However, it only takes 1 second to accumulate the power, and the resulting power is terrifying enough. Advertisement. UB***************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** release. Even Golden Lion felt great pressure, and a cold sweat appeared on his forehead. Sure enough, you still retained your strength in the battle with Captain Rox, Air, Charlotte Linlin said with a strange gleam in her eyes. Although the confrontation between Air and Rox, Kurama mode was used. However, the power shown in Kurama mode is not as terrifying as the tailed beast bomb that Air has released today. Is this the most talented monster of the Rox group? Kaido's eyes stared at Air and exclaimed inwardly. Since joining the Rox regiment, he has heard countless times about Air's strength in the mouths of other crew members. It's the one that's been described the most. Air is the top talent monster in their Rox, no one can match it. Gu la la la. Finish this game as soon as possible, it's time to go back to drink. Whitebeard smiled slightly. Commune Tianchuan, Lion Majesty, Big Earth Coiling. Golden Lion and Whitebeard quickly used their strongest abilities to attack the 2-5 elders in front of them. Kaido and Linlin stood side by side at this time, waving their weapons forward at the same time. Bahai. Bahai is a combination skill of the two, which can exert a huge impact like destroying the sky and destroying the earth. Its power is enough to wipe out everything in a radius of several kilometers in front of it. The horror of its power can be seen as a Madara. Tailed Beast Bomb from Air. Kong Yushinquake released by Whitebeard. Lion Majesty Big Earth Coiling by Golden Lion. Charlotte Linlin Kaido's combination of skills dominates the sea. 5 people's attacks fly out at the same time. The terrifying power completely crushed the ground along the way, carrying the power to destroy everything and destroy the world, and rushed forward. Boom boom. A voice resounding through the sky came, and the dense dark clouds in the sky were directly scattered by the shock. The moon appeared in the sight of everyone, and then it radiated bright moonlight on this broken ground plain that had become a ruin. The entire holy site of Mariejois was shaken significantly, as if an earthquake had occurred. In front of them, there was a bottomless pit, and black smoke and dust were swirling outwards. There are countless huge gaps in the surrounding ground, bottomless. The damage done to the Holy Land Mariejois by the 5 together is unimaginable. Chapter 120 The Eternal Pointer of the Valley of God, please complete. Walk. Air's words fell. Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido followed Air without hesitation. Run towards the edge of the Holy Land Mariejois. Not long after the 5 people left, the smoke in the huge pit slowly dissipated, and I saw 2 old men jumping out of the big pit with a lot of injuries on their bodies. Gotta say, Air, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido. The ability of the 5 people to release together, the power is still terrifying enough. Because even though the 2-5 elders were in serious defense, they were still injured. Did you escape? Damn, the joint skills of the 5 people are a bit stronger than I thought. I didn't expect that they were finally escaped by them. In the end, he still despised the joint attack of Air and others. In fact, if they were when Air and others released their abilities. If you use observation hockey directly, you have a chance to avoid it if you predict the trajectory. But because they underestimated the enemy, the 2 chose to fight hard, which also gave Air and others a chance to escape. 5 interesting little devils, they are not weak, 99. Although the strength is good, it is not worth worrying about. What we should be worried about is their talent. After all, they can increase their strength to such a level in such a short period of time. In the future, these little devils will grow into something unbelievable. Characters, especially the kid named Air, the long straight-haired old man said seriously. Air, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Charlotte Linlin, Kaido are not weak. However, in front of the 5 elders, there is still some not enough to see. After all, the strongest attack of the 5 together only injured 2-5 elders. And what the old man with long straight hair is worried about is the talent of these 5 people. Especially Air. The old man with long straight hair speculates that, given time, these 5 people will definitely become a tyrant at sea. And Air, be above them. Future? No, they don't have a future anymore. The old man with the knife said with a slight smile. Now they have escaped from the cooperation of the 2 of us. Next time I want to find an opportunity to erase them, I am afraid that it will have to wait a long time. How can there be no future? The old man with straight hair heard the words, some asked suspiciously. Advertisement Air and others are naturally not fools. Having been to the Holy Land once, Mariejois senses the danger here. Then there will definitely be no second time. In this case, they must have nothing to do with Air and others. As for Marine, not to mention that, Marine has been fighting against the Rox for years and has not been able to get rid of the Rox regiment. Today, none of the main cadres of the Rox regiment have been killed. Marine must also have nothing to do with the Rox regiment. In this way, as long as the cadres of the Rox regiment are a little more disciplined, won't they all be able to grow up completely in the future? A long time later. I don't think so, because I already know their future goals. The old man with the knife shook his head slightly and smiled lightly. What is it? The purpose of several of them coming to the Holy Land Mariejois is precisely for the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods. If there is no accident, Lord Yimu buried Uranus in the Valley of the Gods, 35. Now that it is known, Air et al.'s later goal is for Uranus of the Valley of the Gods. Then they just need to prepare in advance. Arrange troops in the Valley of the Gods, wait for the Rox group to come to the door and then destroy them? Is Uranus in the Valley of the Gods? The long straight-haired old man raised his brows slightly. Yes. 35, is the message accurate? 5, certainly. It seems that our confrontation with them this time is not without gain at all. We can either take back the Uranus that Lord Yimu placed in the Valley of God, or destroy the Rox group. Next, Marine needs to be notified that a big battle with the entire Rox regiment is about to begin. Meanwhile, on the other side, over a certain sea area in the New World, the group of 5 elders didn't catch up. Kaido stood at the bow of the boat, looking up in the direction of the red line and said, "Advertisement." They were already far away from the red line, some distance away, but never pursued. In this way, they can rest assured that the powerhouse of the world government has not chased after them. Jia ha ha ha. It was an exciting journey today. I fought against the 5 elders, the top leader of the world government, and left alive. Golden Lion laughed. 0. For flowers. To be honest, playing against the 5 elders today really gave the Golden Lion an idea that he was going to fall to the Holy Land Mariejois. For nothing else, because 5 elders are just too strong. If it wasn't for Charlotte Linlin and others to support him in time, he would most likely die. Plus, because of the horror of Air's strength, he defeated Darrow's, the captain of the CPO organization. If not, if the 2 5 elders and the 3 of Darrow's join forces. Even if they join forces, it is difficult to escape. Shiki, you idiot, if you said from the beginning that you have obtained the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods, we would have already left the Holy Land Mariejois. Charlotte Linlin said gloomily. 0 at the beginning, there was only 5 elders and a CPO organization on that battlefield. Before the long straight-haired old man arrived on the battlefield, if Golden Lion had explained to them, he had found the eternal pointer of the Valley of God. Then they can go directly to Air and choose to retreat. Just 5 elders and a member of the CPO organization can't stop them. But the B************* D Golden Lion. It wasn't until another 5 elders arrived on the battlefield that the news of finding the eternal pointer in the Valley of the Gods. If it weren't for the fact that Air was strong enough to defeat Darrow's in advance, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Today they are almost equivalent to taking a trip inside the gate of hell. After all, it is really possible to fall into the Holy Land Mariejois with a little carelessness. Linlin, we left alive in the end, didn't we? Golden Lion took a cigar from his arms, lit it, exhaled a puff of smoke, and grinned. You D. You almost killed us in the Holy Land Mariejois, Charlotte Linlin sneered. Hey, Linlin, you can't say that. After all, it was me who found the eternal pointer. If it wasn't for me, this mission would have been a failure. Golden Lion said slowly. How about finding the eternal pointer of the Valley of the Gods? Without our timely support, you would have fallen to the Holy Land Mariejois by now. Golden Lion and Charlotte Linlin, you said a word to me, and began to quarrel.